Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yes, we are here once again doing our thing and defending the galaxy against so many other biatches.
So you'll probably notice that we're not being joined by the last standing Samoan or Kendo Slice. They're on their way. Kendo is in a different time zone, and I don't know where Nick is. We sent him the link. He'll be here, I guess, when he gets off the toilet. So we're going to start this show now because we can't wait any longer to talk about Captain Marvel, the groundbreaking film. And I'm being serious because Captain Marvel is the first movie I've ever seen where the tone of the trailer is 100% accurate to the movie. If you thought she was wooden and plain and boring in that trailer, well, you've seen the movie. So let's start talking about it. So, Dion, we're going to go spoiler-free for a couple of minutes while we wait for the other guys and while we let the other people, just hear a little bit about it before they make up their minds if they should see it or not. And we'll give you our honest opinions before we get into the spoiler territory. So, first off, Dion, do you want to give a quick synopsis of what you just watched?
Yes. Full disclosure, typically with my family, I go with my wife, I go with my sister. We kind of make a thing out of it where we go and we see the next big Marvel movie. So the three of us go together. And again, this is good for me in terms of getting a reaction, a genuine reaction from someone who doesn't have a show or a stake in how well the film does. That being said, watching Captain Marvel, and this is just mine, this isn't their opinion, my sister or my wife's. Again, overall, just starting out, I liked it. I did like it. I liked it. I had overall a good time watching the film in terms of Marvel movies that fit within the overall mythology of the universe. I think it did a decent job. That being said, this movie, is the exact same plane that I had Black Panther on. This is the exact same plane that I had Ant-Man and Wasp. It's a good movie, but it is nowhere near where the hype is. Captain Marvel right now, just as she is in the fucking comic books, is a B+ player. This movie proves why she is and will remain a B+ player.
Ooh. All right, nice Daniel Bryan reference. Nick, welcome to the show.
I made it. I had to make some food, but yeah, I'm here.
I lied and told everyone you were taking a shit. So
okay, well, I was making food while I was taking a shit. I multitask. I'm real good at it. Anyways,
you have a toilet by your microwave or a microwave by your toilet?
Ooh,
I've been to your apartment, so I know exactly the layout.
You know where I live, sir. You know where I live.
So Nick, we literally just started the review.
Okay.
We're not giving out spoilers. We're not giving our scale of 1 to 10 yet. We're just saying Dion was giving out a quick, basic. He liked it. He thought it was okay type of thing. What do you think?
I mean, I thought it was okay as well. I mean, it was pretty dense for, it being, because I'm used to them like putting in new characters and them, it's the origin movie. Like, this thing's happening. It's a new character. We got to shove as much information as we can. And we don't have 3 movies to do it in. Go. It's like, whoa, all right. It's a lot. And I mean, it was okay. It was a little, it was pretty fun. I didn't know about the fight between the two civilizations. They didn't elaborate on that, so you have no idea what's going on with that. You're just thrown into it. It's like, oh, these people hate these people and they're bad. Gotcha. Okay. Why? We don't know. It's just they're bad. Cool. Why? Don't know. Just you're thrown in the middle of this. Enjoy. It's like,
and I didn't enjoy. Dion, I think you and Nick will probably be the kindest with just saying it's just okay. First off, full transparency, we're reviewing this movie based on the movie, not the hype surrounding it.
No.
Our review comes directly from the film, not what Brie Larson said. That being said, this is my least favorite MCU film. And normally, I would say that title goes to Spider-Man Homecoming because of my love of the character in the universe that he used to inhabit. That biased out of the way, I still think Spider-Man Homecoming was a more enjoyable film. This was the most difficult Marvel film to sit through because there are parts where it looks objectively bad. Like the last shot, this isn't a spoiler. There's a shot where she's in space. It looks like she is standing in front of a green screen with some shitty effects. All the effects look pretty basic, like they came out of a package, like a software package. There's nothing special. See, Dion, what you said a minute ago when you were talking about how you think it's basic Marvel fare, I don't think this movie actually feels like the MCU, because even Ant-Man and the Wasp that I saw in a theater that was honestly 5 other people that had barely any energy, this movie, which was almost full in a very, pretty mixed area, it had no reaction and there was no energy, and I felt absolutely nothing watching this film. I looked at my watch a few times. I sat there thinking to myself, all the fears about Brie Larson were not unfounded. She is very, very plain. See, Robert Downey Jr. can talk to a wall because he's charismatic and he's fun. He's great. Every other main actor in their film has a level of charisma that Brie Larson can't even dream about having. I mean, let's go from the beginning. Robert Downey Jr., awesome, charismatic dude, great. Thor,
yeah,
everybody loves him. Charming, can fucking anybody appear. He appeals to everybody and everybody. Let's see. Captain America, great. He has that nobility to him. Star-Lord, all the Guardians, they have something. Even a CGI raccoon in a fucking tree that says, I am Groot, has something going for it. We get the Spider-Man, who's not even my favorite Spider-Man, but Tom Holland brings something to it. Literally every main star in the MCU has more charisma and is more entertaining to watch, for me at least, than Brie Larson. She is the bottom of the barrel. She's as flat as her ass.
She was constantly stoic throughout the whole thing, like giving that hard look the whole time. I was just like, I mean, you're not a dude. I get what's going on. It's just like, come on, like just a little bit. Give me something here.
Well, and to kind of go off of that point, right? So, and again, this is me sticking with, again, this is film critic Dion Green in the interest of why he's on the fucking show. There are very clear instances of why Brie Larson was put with Samuel Jackson or Jude Law. When it came to her spending time with someone on the screen besides herself, it was either Jude Law, Samuel Jackson, or it was fucking the friend.
Oh, and Rambo.
They did not. And and I'm not being coy or anything, they did not trust Brie Larson by herself in this film. And again, I liked the movie, but even when she was waking up from the dream sequence, even when they were trying to goad you into sticking around for the origin part of her character, she never was by herself. And again, even when they did the comedy scene, when she first gets to Earth, when she's interacting with Nick Fury, a lot of it was on Nick's reaction. A lot of it was on Jude Law's reaction. Very few of it was based on her. And again, it was not very well done by Brie Larson. She did even less emotional reaction than she did in Kong Skull Island. And again, that is being honest. It was not a lot of Brie. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
That's I will admit that as well. Yeah, they never left her alone ever. She was always, with somebody all the time, whether it be Samuel Jackson or Jude Law or Ben Mendelsohn or who's the main woman? God, I forget her name.
Oh, Annette Bening.
Annette Bening, yeah. Like always with somebody who is like leaps and bounds above her and ahead of her and who's more established than she is. So
yeah, I got, like, when you're talking about the war between the Kree and the Skull, which is a long-time Marvel staple in the comics, I was pissed off.
Up somehow.
They ruined the Skrulls. You thought, folks, this isn't even a spoiler. If you thought that the Skrull invasion was going to be the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you thought you were going to have who's a Skrull, who's not a Skrull, this is going to be insane. No, that's not even a possibility with this movie. They ruined the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the whole, oh my God, Hawkeye died, but he's a Skrull. That can never happen. They have ruined the future. I'm laughing, but I'm really sad on the inside because we kept getting excited thinking, oh my God, if Captain America dies and he's a Skrull, what's going to happen next? Nope. Nope. That is not even a possibility. Holy
Nope.
shit.
It's really bad.
Yeah, they nixed that whole thing immediately, and it was just like, oh, okay, cool. And like, yeah, that really is one thing that pissed me off, because like you're just thrown into this world, and you have these two factions pitted against each other, and no explanation why. There's a thing. There's no little like animation to show like why they're.
But not only that,
against...
to further that point, so kind of going off of what Nick and Jeff said, everyone was very excited about the Fantastic Four coming back to Marvel and having one of their first great breaths into the universe being the Skrull. Nope. If you were hoping to see Super Skrull, nope. If you were hoping to see the fateful Fantastic Four turn the Skrull into a cow or anything resembling that, killed. Done. They had the motherfucker who, was Bruce Wayne's rival in The Dark Knight Rises. He was the drug addict and Killing Him Softly. That Australian motherfucker, I can remember his name. He's always a great bad guy. Sorry?
His name's Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn. If you were excited to see him in this movie, wasted.
Yeah,
wasted.
Look at Kendo's here. Let's let him talk for a minute. Kendo, welcome to the show. You've been here for many episodes, so you're nothing new to the people.
I'm proud of it.
Jeez. Captain Marvel.
That movie was fucking boring. Okay, nothing good happened that I was discernibly able to pick out of that movie aside from Nick Fury, the cat, and the Australian dude. If that movie was an NFL franchise drafting #1 next year, that's how bad it was.
Damn.
Even though you beat Boop through half of that, I still understood you didn't like it.
No, it was boring as hell. It's you know what we were talking about. Going for Marvel picks and re-ranking the MCU again. That one's easy. Bottom.
Yeah, I said that to Dion when we were off air, and maybe I said it as soon as we went on air. This is my least favorite Marvel flick, and here's the thing I've been wanting to say since I drove home. Now this is a big if the certain end of the spectrum in terms of politics and feminism, they want to lump this movie as this like big event, then they just have terrible taste in movies. Because even though this movie is very free from a lot of that shit, it is still a very poorly executed film on every level. The directing is just like visually, like I was telling the guys before, some of the CGI looked bad, especially like the Supreme Intelligence part when there's little like tendrils wrapped around her head. I mean, that was like PlayStation 3 level shit, dude. And that's not even me trying to be like nitpicky. There were just so many failures in this. I'm laughing at how stupid some of it really is.
Well, and the hype and everything.
Like, even if we're sticking to the visual effects of it, which I don't think were terrible. They weren't great, but even then, you have the whole sequence of her where you have her battle suit helmet come up and it forces her hair up into the mohawk, which they showed in the trailer. It looked bad. Like the CGI, the transition from hair and mohawk to hair down was not good. When you had her, again, they prefaced the whole red, gold, and blues part of her suit. And when that whole sequence of her showing it to the girl, I was like, wow, that looks really like it was Green Lantern bad. Like it was like you could tell that she was sitting in front of a fucking green screen with a nice black girl, and they were just like, hey, this is her suit. Watch it. And I'm just like, ugh. Daddy no like.
Yeah, this movie really did disappoint on like so many levels.
Dude, I was bored out of my mind through almost the whole thing.
Yeah, it beep boop beep bop for sure, and it did. Like again, overall I liked it, but it was very clearly this was the Iron Man 2. This was the Walmart version of Thor when Thor came out right before Avengers. This is it. Like it was like I can't wait to see the reaction for all the blogosphere. I can't wait because there's no way you can tell me this is one of the best of the Marvel universe. It's
Dude,
really not that great.
They say
and
that
I
they,
liked it.
They say that with every new Marvel movie that comes out. This is the best one. This is the best one. It's like, okay, wait until they're all out and then like judge them accordingly, and then tell me what you think.
No one will ever say this is the best one. It could be the only one, and it would never be the best one.
That's true. That's
Dude,
true.
We'll try to compose some of our thoughts, but I'd like to say this too: the climax is anticlimactic. No other Marvel movie.
Oh my god! It creates more questions than answers, dude.
It does. It does. It really does.
They retconned their entire series.
Yes, they did. That is a problem. They ruined a lot of it.
They fucking home series right before the end. Before the end of the entire right before there. What
is exactly what I want to know what you're saying.
He's so angry. His internet won't let him be angry.
Dude, my thing is this. The climax was the most anticlimactic ending to any Marvel movie. I'm not even being hyperbolic. Seriously, Iron Man 1, the fight between Obadiah Stane and Iron Man had way more emotion. What was next? The Incredible Hulk. Yes. That had a better climax. Iron Man 2.
That was a better climax than some of the big ones where you had fucking Abomination and the Hulk. Even Iron Man 2, where you had Whiplash and Iron Man and War Machine. It was way better.
Dude, that was so much fun. Oh my god.
There was, and especially, and again, this is part of Marvel's problem with. Again, everyone in the know, everyone that watches these films know that they're full of shit. But even so, when they said she's one of the most powerful, if this was the movie that proved that, it was the most anticlimactic. Like she's supposed. So you're saying that she can face a dude with the Infinity fucking Gauntlet, and if you watch this movie, you're like, nope.
Here's the thing. Okay.
It doesn't.
So, mild spoiler: the first post-credit sequence is a scene from Avengers Endgame. The 13 seconds of acting from Scarlett Johansson was better than all of Brie Larson's performance in the entire film.
It was.
Yeah, and that's not an exaggeration. I don't think like when the real Avengers showed up, I went, "Oh, thank God! This is why we came here, not this Kmart bullshit from this movie." And I mean, every level of this Captain Marvel movie failed to entertain me. Samuel L. Jackson was fine. Yes. Phil Coulson was fine. Lashana Lynch, aka Maria Rambeau, and the little kid. The little kid was actually a good actress, but man, just like everything, like if you could make a bad decision in every step of the production, that's what Captain Marvel would become. I mean, what is the planet they were on? The Kree planet, whatever it was called.
Mara.
That didn't look that great. It looked kind of boring. Kreeville, they were barely there. The fight in the beginning was really hard to follow, like all the smoke, and it just didn't look good. None of it was visually stunning. Like the one shot in the trailer where they're underwater, that's the whole shot, and then they just walk up on a shore and they fight in some fog. It's like I can't stress enough. If you don't want to see this, you can go watch Avengers and you'll not be lost, because this is basically the story of the Tesseract.
To piggyback off of that, this is why this movie is so underwhelming. So Jeff mentioned it, the Tesseract, and Kendo mentioned it very boopopily, retconning it, right? So again, at this point in the game, this is where franchises. This is why it's so hard to do franchises, right? Because if you extend too much, you paint yourself in a box, because you've created a mythos, a fucking standard that you have to live by. You made your own standard. You come to Captain Marvel. So you have, again, they're talking about the Kree and their war against the Skrull. They mention it without saying too much. In that same preface, even if you think about it, even if you've only seen the major Avengers movies, the first thing you're going to think is, holy shit, I've seen the first Avengers. Where the fuck are the Kree? Again, I say this because they've established, because they wanted to make this, they wanted to let you know what? It's in the 90s. This is 20 years easily, almost 20 years fully before the first Avengers, because the first Avengers was 2012. So you know this is before that film. all the shit that's happened, even if you like this movie, you love this movie, you think, oh yeah, there was a battle in New York over the Tesseract. Where were the Kree?
Yeah,
That's it. Like, I don't have to say anything. Like so even if you say, hey, she upset, again, with mild spoiler, whatever she did in the film without saying it, she upset the whole mythos. She's changed how things are in 1995. There was a battle on Earth for an Infinity Stone. We all know that it's an Infinity Stone. There was a fight on Earth. Everyone knew about it. You can't argue. There's no one that can argue with me that the rest of the universe wouldn't be like, holy shit, Thanos is going for the Infinity Stones at this point. They've prefaced this with their own mythos. It was on Earth. The fucking Kree were going for the Tesseract in this film. Mild spoiler. There's Avengers. There's a fight. Where were the Kree? That's all I'm saying.
And the thing is,
someone explain that to me.
And the Kree can get to the Tesseract. They can find it. They can warp through space. Like Ronan the Accuser's in this movie, but I'm pretty sure he died in the first Guardians, right?
He's dead. Yeah. He's gone.
In this movie, they set up a sequel with Ronan the Accuser coming back to fight Captain Marvel, but he's already dead. So basically, if they do Captain Marvel sequels, it has to take place.
Ronan. Not just. So this is. Like remember when we were in college and you and I were going, like, we go any movie, you know that, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We go back and forth. This is that moment because I'm getting in that zone right now.
I'm ready.
Not only Ronan, but Digimon Hansu was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's in this movie. He is her commanding officer's right-hand man.
Yeah, he was the best part in the beginning.
Cyborg who works for Ronan the Accuser.
There are so many questions that.
I'm not trying to start shit with you guys, but again, so even if you're saying, hey, Dion, that's going to be in the sequel, I'll accept that. You're right, it's going to be in the sequel, but good movies set that up. So he clearly is a cyborg in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Correct. You see him get hit in the head. You see the cybernetic shit on the side of his head, and you see him in this movie. None of that.
No, well,
that's a problem, people.
Well, beyond that, dude, what the problem is that all the sequels for Captain Marvel, if there will ever be one, have to take place between 1995 and whenever Guardians of the Galaxy 1 takes place. So let's say 2014.
Yeah.
Because all those characters that they introduce and show you the backstory for, that they don't actually show you shit, they just show them in Kree warrior costumes. They're either dead or they become other things. And if Marvel thinks that you're able to build a universe, like if the next era of Marvel films are spacefaring Captain Marvel centric films, even if you don't take Brie Larson's bullshit into account, you don't have anything exciting. There's no meat to it. They're not going to, Adam Warlock's going to show. Realistically, if you're out there watching, of the 2,000 of you nearly, give us a thumbs up, by the way. Do you really know who Adam Warlock is? And do you actually give a shit? Let's be honest. Right. Marvel's getting to a point where they've exhausted all of their big named characters. Even if you think, X-Men and the Fantastic Four are going to save everybody. Realistically, and I keep saying this, and people don't like this, the Fantastic Four haven't been relevant in our lifetimes. Seriously, you may have the John Byrne run in the comic books. You've never had a truly successful, groundbreaking Fantastic Four film. You had the Roger Corman one, which was, in my opinion, the best, but it still is hokey as shit.
Are we gonna do a watch party for that?
If you ask.
Okay, I have a copy. I got a bootleg copy right here, man.
Okay, well, even going off of that, so say hyperbolically, people say, well, there was the Jessica Alba, the first Chris Evans movie. So say people are going, hey, that was relevant. So for the sake of argument, we agree with that shit, right? So we say that, hey, Disney has bought 20th Century Fox. Again, this is me going into fan mode. We all agree that 2004 Fantastic Four is relevant. So we're going to say that it's relevant. It's part of whether it's part of the mythos or they're going to at some point and put them in the mythos. So we're all going to agree with that shit. So after watching Captain Marvel, we're all saying that the Fantastic Four is going to be part of it. X-Men's going to be part of it. where do you put it in? It's either during this time span during the 90s because X-Men is going to happen. Dark Phoenix is going to happen. This is very clearly before X-Men 1 in 2000. They're doing the 80s and the 90s. That's going to happen no matter what, whether you would like me, agree with me or not. That's going to happen. Fantastic Four, even if they're going to reboot it, it has to happen either before Endgame or afterwards in the next phase.
I don't think it's gonna get. Look at Captain.
Where
Marvel,
do you do it? Is my question. So where do you do it? So because Captain Marvel is, they want it to be significant. Where do you do it? She has been the fucking linchpin, whether it's good or bad, in this franchise right now. And right now, I can tell you that it's bad. It's the linchpin. It connects the Tesseract, the fucking cat. It connects Nick Fury with no eye, even though that whole story is fucking stupid.
That was stupid.
That's the linchpin.
Yeah.
So they've bet on this. Where do you put it?
Well, here's the thing too. I mean, we keep saying you can watch the next movie without it. You can. They've retconned the Tesseract. This big energy thing. Annette Bening is let's read a couple super chats and then we'll get into the spoilers, folks. So if you want to know all the nitty-gritty about the Captain Marvel film that we just watched, stick around, okay? Because we're gonna get deep into this movie, and even though we don't want to, we will.
We'll tell you how much it sucked.
Yeah. Alpha Terranina.
If there are serious problems,
Dion, just calm down. 2 hours to Devil May Cry 5, says Alpha Terranima. Well, at least you'll have something fun to do tomorrow. Captain Marvel's definitely not it. In Cynical, thank you very much. I drove by both theaters in my town an hour after the premiere started. Both parking lots were about 1/3 full.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about our screening. Mine was mostly full, but it wasn't like, I'm not trying to sound like crazy, but sometimes when you go to see a movie, there's hype. You can feel the energy. Yes. Nobody talked in this like, you're not supposed to talk in the movie. Nope. I get it, but nobody laughed. Nobody cheered. Like, seriously, the Stan Lee opening, people clapped. That's it. It was dead silent. Everything she did fell flat, and I was like, really? I thought I was going to be the sourpuss guy in the back going, oh, that's not that funny. Like, nobody was fucking laughing. And the funny thing is, too, there weren't that many women at my screening.
There were my screen was pretty even, women, men. It was full, but again, no hype. When we walked in, I had zero problem going and getting my tickets. It was not packed in my theater. Again, I have the theater we go to at this point is a bistro theater. It's not a random theater or a standard theater. So, either you buy your tickets or you get the fucking pre-orders that you get online, or you get the ones you get at the door. For a major, quote unquote, major Marvel film, there was no problem. I walked right in. There was no line. There was no fuss. There was no muss. Got my tickets and I was able to get a drink because it's a bistro and get right to my seats. No fuss. And then when it comes to the movie itself, everyone clapped for the Stan Lee bit. Everyone clapped for the Stan Lee bit in the film. And then people laughed at the Samuel L. Jackson jokes. That's it. Everything else, there was nothing, and there were a lot of women in my theater. It was a decent amount, and they did not stand up and start cheering. They reacted the same as everyone else. They were either quiet or they clapped and laughed at the Samuel L. Jackson or the Stan Lee bits. The two, that's it.
Nick, you live in the biggest city of all four of us, actually. Tell us how your theater experience was.
Oh yeah, okay. The theater I went to is the one I go to whenever we do these. It's close by. It's not that popular, not a big deal. Went in, got my tickets normally, sat down where I wanted to sit, and it was probably I would say it was either a quarter or a third full. It wasn't that full. More dudes than women, but that didn't matter because everybody cheered at the same stuff as yours guys theaters did. Everybody laughed the same. There was no standing ovation, no nothing, no cheering, no yelling, no nothing. It was all just like you're watching a normal movie. Now also one thing I did find out is the Nice Theater down the road, Atlantic Station, they sold out of their fan events at 6 o'clock, both of them, and their 7 o'clock showing of the movie in 3D, I think. Yeah, but that's all.
Yeah, because you live in Atlanta, which really isn't like crazy a spoiler for anybody out there, but like Atlanta's
Right.
a way big. Lansing is nothing compared to Atlanta, and Atlanta's way bigger than Cincinnati.
Well, yeah,
And Atlanta is a big movie town.
Oh yeah. Well, something that kind of made me mad at the end of watching this movie is that none of it was made in Atlanta. None of it was. I was like, really? You went to Canada, you went to California, you went to Louisiana. Nothing was filmed in Atlanta. Fuck you.
Kendo.
Nice.
How was the screening in Appalachia?
Well, I don't live in Appalachia, so I'm not sure, but where I lived at, it was probably about 75% full, which, not that I'm, guy in the movie, but I was happy for on theater and I wanted to see, so I was like, okay, that's good. If they go down, I have to drive a half hour to a movie theater instead of 10 minutes. Yeah, it was actually pretty much quiet except for the laughing at the jokes. No one even applauded for the Stanley thing at the beginning. I wanted to, but then I was like, I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be the only one doing it. So I conformed.
I really wish this wasn't the movie they put it on, because Stan Lee really didn't do anything with Captain Marvel at all.
Which, spoiler, there's no spoiler to it. That the Stan Lee thing is really fucking cool the way they did that with like it. For people that haven't seen it yet, it's like the Marvel opening to Marvel Studios. Stan Lee and basically all the characters, the costumes. It's just fantastic.
Dude, your connection is way worse than usual.
All right.
While you reset it, TLJ Screwjob says, Dion, would you F Brie thirst for something that bad? I guess it's like a cat, so I guess it means pussy.
I mean, listen, was she cute? I'd say cute, but would I if I was in a bar and I had a top choice, Brie, based on this movie, nah, bruh.
Jägerbomb says, I watched Alita Battle Angel again instead of seeing that film. Thank you for watching crap so we don't have to. Hope Captain SJW doesn't ruin Endgame. She definitely felt shoehorned in. We'll talk about it a little more later, but they show the Endgame clip and she's in it. So that Reddit leak is fake. And we'll tell you why it's fake too, based on trailers for Endgame and stuff like that. We can talk about. So we'll do some of the deep analysis, and Kendo will give us. We'll give all our scores in a minute before we end the spoiler-free in quotations part, and then Kendo can help us figure out our statistics to where we rank Captain Marvel. Ryan Giger says, "Awkward shoehorning the movie." That's a pretty good way to describe this because it doesn't fit, man. I didn't even go in wanting to hate the movie. I just went there and was like, it wasn't even 90s reference the movie. It just fell flat everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was as well. I was like, I don't care what she says. She's crazy. She's a crazy actor person. Yeah, that's fun. They all are. So I'm just gonna watch it and judge it on its merit and like what the movie is against all the other Marvel movies, and accordingly.
Yeah. That being said, I don't think I'll ever need to buy this or watch it again.
Nope.
Seriously,
Let's do a commentary for it.
I don't plan on doing a commentary for this one. This movie doesn't need to exist. Here's the thing, too. With the scrolls and the shape-shifting and all the mystery and excitement you could have had, all of it went out the window. All of it. That's the part that pisses me off the most. The scrolls are ruined.
What I got from the movie was that they literally shoehorned this in at the very last second. It was something I don't think they ever intended to put in there. And somehow or another, they were given the idea, you have to make this movie.
I think Kevin Feige had been trying to push Captain Marvel back. Rumor has it that they were trying to put Captain Marvel in Avengers Age of Ultron, which would have been 2015. This Captain Marvel debuted in 2012. That would have felt even more shoehorned in. Because it's not about men or women Avengers or superheroes. It's good ones. You had what's her face, Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch get introduced, and she's interesting because in the first Avengers movie she appears in, Age of Ultron, she's just there. She has, her brother dies, she wants to become a hero. But then when you get to Civil War, she's kind of the cause for the Sokovia Accords.
Right.
And it's really interesting how, she caused that explosion in what is that part of Africa they're in? Not Senegal. They're somewhere.
Not Wakanda.
Not Wakanda.
Not Wakanda.
Point is,
even then, they do a great, again, storytelling. We say this all the time in this show. The first time you see her is when? At the end of Winter Soldier.
Yep.
You see her and fucking Quicksilver in the Hydra bunker. So when you see it, you're like, okay, damn, that's pretty. You see that, oh, she's going to face the Avengers as an enemy. So that gives you somewhat a frame of reference of where she is, how strong she is. She's strong enough to face the Avengers, right? In this movie, not only is there not a frame of reference, so even if you buy into that bullshit with her being as strong as the fucking Infinity Gauntlet, there's no frame of reference. That you don't see her facing something as powerful as the Infinity Gauntlet. You don't see, you see her, spoiler, facing down a ship. You see her somewhat using her powers, breaking out of restraints. That none of that prefaces her importance in terms of what they built in the fucking media for the movie. And that's what fucking stinks so much. She's supposed to be this great character, and then you watch the movie and you're just like, okay, she broke out of some restraints. Okay, she can fly. Okay, she fucking busted a nut in Jude Law's face. That's it.
I didn't see that part, but
Yeah, what cut were you watching? That's
Yeah,
why you
really, dude.
That was the Kevin Smith cut.
He did something right finally.
NC-17 cut, boys.
spoiler: Captain Marvel's a squirter.
Woo!
I want to get that on a shirt.
Oh, dude, the part where she yells in the Skrull's face in the beginning was meant to be funny.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Laughed.
That was not funny. It was kind of like, what are you doing?
Laughed in my fucking theater, and you can tell it was like, okay, yeah, good.
I was gonna say there was some isolated laughter where I was at too. I was like, not funny.
Let's see. TLJ Screwjob says also, Jer said that the Rotten Tomatoes score is already 59. That's the fan score. Oh,
I can see that.
We're not going to spoil our scores yet, but that's pretty good.
I was gonna say, I got a feeling that's probably about where ours would land.
Yeah. The Ghost Legend 001 says, you guys always make fun of Kendo for being an Appalachian American, yet Jeff is the one who has Hick in his name. Really makes you think. I live in the city.
I was gonna say, there's also the whole I don't live near the Appalachian Mountains, so I don't get the reference.
And the fact that it's a joke, but whatever.
I still don't get it.
Are you proud of it, Kendo?
I mean, was it meant to be funny like this movie? Because it wasn't. Boom! Stick that in your coconut and smoke it.
I love coconuts.
We're friends, right?
We play them on the podcast.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
the best actors on YouTube. We make each other.
We're kayfabe friends, but you should see the fucking chat boards between us because we are mean and we hate each other and we don't get along.
No, not at all. Just mean gifts.
Oh God, I can't wait to hate you guys in a week. It's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah, we never. We'll put on a brave face in the booth, but then once we get back to the hotel room, it's gonna be like isolated corners. It's gonna be painted down the middles of the room. Don't come on my side.
Don't come in my
Great.
Sorry, that's a reference for another night. TLJ Screwjob says, in Quartering Jer said in his live stream that two separate people said they were low-key implying a lesbian relationship between Brie and Annette. That's not true at all.
Nope.
That would have made it more interesting.
It would have made it more interesting. It was meant to be like a mother-daughter thing because they go out of their way to say she hates her parents, and they go out of their way to say that her dad, oh, you need to slow down. That's like a theme of this movie. Carol Danvers needs to slow down.
Yeah. That's why she needs to go higher, further, and faster.
Yeah. Faster out of
Control
theater.
her emotions.
Yeah, fucking Jude Law was. I like Jude Law normally.
But he sucked in this.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He wasn't good.
Nope.
He wasn't like talented Mr. Ripley good. He was like, well, I can't think of another Jude Law movie. Off the top of my head.
He was
romantic comedy with him and
Alfie.
Kate Winslet.
No. He was basically
The
basically playing his character in Repo Man in this movie.
Oh, the genetic opera.
No,
Yes.
that's a better movie than this movie. Shit.
Dude, we can't get into the territory of what's a better movie than Captain Marvel because we will literally be here all night. And then there's only 2 hours left. Well, actually, an hour and 6 minutes left in this day where I am. So I can seriously start naming every movie on my shelf. We'll start. This is the end. Tommy Boy. Those are all better.
Solo is not.
I think they're about on the same level for me. I don't know.
They're very close, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're probably on the same level, but it's better than The Last Jedi, so we'll go with that.
Well, duh. Oh shit, Mister. So here's the question, Dion, because all these people keep unsubscribing every time you say you like it. You like it, but you admit it's bad.
I won't say it's bad. It's not bad,
but it's not great either.
But it's damn sure not great. It is. It is. If you have a girlfriend or boyfriend,
don't take them to see this movie because you'll never get laid again.
Yeah,
and you're saying, hey, we're not doing shit. We don't plan on fucking each other tonight. Let's go see a movie. And you're like, what's playing? Hey, Captain Marvel? Okay.
No, go see a Medea movie. Yes, I just said that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Do not listen to this man. Do not listen to this man.
Oh, okay. So Samuli Oki says, hello from Finland, WCBS. Thank you all. Larson did, would you say? I mean,
does that mean you just act really boring?
Yeah,
we can emotion. And you have no ass?
We can use that. We can start saying it was Larson. It's just completely flat and boring.
Yeah. As vanilla as vanilla can get.
Oh, yeah.
Ryers can't make it more vanilla than this movie.
Jeez.
Noah R., one of our oldest listeners, he says, congrats on the big sub count, boys. Still hanging around as always. Here's to the pre-500 sub days. Thank you for all the laughs. Keep it up. Listen to WCBS at work regularly. Well, Noah R., I would consider him our first fan of the channel.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude. Noah R.'s been here.
He's been there for a very long time.
Thanks, buddy.
This is pre-500 sub days, so that's before all the guys that do the fan cast. I think maybe Brian Late may have found us earlier, but that's it.
Yeah.
By the way, that scroll on the train was Channel Dad Brian Lape. That's what I kept thinking of. The one in the red
sweater. Me too. I was just like, oh, there's Lape. He made it in the movie.
It's a shame she didn't punch him.
Also, there are 1,865 people watching. Please, thumbs up the video right now.
Is this our record for the most views on a World Class Bullshitters podcast?
I want to say
probably.
Yes.
I guess we should say, how is Captain Marvel every week?
Yeah.
Get all them views. Rivon Tari says, Brie Larson's ass is so flat, the flat earthers are making new conspiracy theories about it.
God damn it. Dude. I love that. That's fucking good. That's amazing.
Clap for that. That was incredible. That's the comment of the night. You know what? We didn't have a listener of the week. Rivon Tari's listener of the week. Thank you for being a fan of World Class Bullshitters.
Gosh.
That was awesome. That was a sick burn.
That was, man.
TLJ Screwjob says, Captain Marvel or The Last Jedi, you have to pick one to watch.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
And I didn't even think the movie was that good. It was borderline sort of okay.
It was a movie. We'll put it like that for now. Billy Ritchie says, thanks, guys. My job now uses 2 new words when talking about our suppliers, doo-doo butter and honey dicking. My life is complete.
Do they really? Do they really?
Those are not good suppliers if that's how you have to refer to them.
No, that's awesome.
I'd be looking at the contract dates on those and calling around.
That's great.
Let's see. The Super Smash Brothers candidate says, tomorrow, sadly, at my local theater, Alita has 2 shows. Well, go support one of those 2 shows if that's what you.
That's what you're into.
I'd rather check out Alita Battle Angel than ever watch Captain Marvel again.
Yeah.
Hey man, I reviewed it on my channel. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Did you like it more than Captain Marvel?
Yep, I did. Way more action. Way more story. The world that they make for the movie is way more lived in. I just enjoyed it overall. I mean, it is very dense like this movie, but I mean, they're starting from scratch. They're not starting from the MCU. They're giving you something brand new. So
serious question: Christoph Waltz or Ben Mendelsohn? Who gives a better performance?
Shit, man! Why are you gonna do that to me? Fuck.
Even a question,
dude. Ben Mendelsohn is good shit, but so is Chris.
No, he's been in a lot of good stuff lately. I still gotta go Christoph though. I love Christoph. He's awesome. Yeah, I gotta go Christoph.
TLJ Screwjob wants to know, was the CGI as bad as the domesticated Black Panther rhinos?
It's on the same level.
Yeah, some of the scenes,
worse.
Man.
It's worse.
Yeah, like last year around this time, we were talking about Black Panther and how it was not the best Marvel movie, and then we were surprised with Infinity War being like blowing us out of the water.
Yeah,
this is the same thing. This is like this movie is not that great, but Black Panther is way better in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
I actually was thinking about how I missed Wakanda compared to whatever part of America they were in this movie.
I want to say they were in California, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, they were.
There was a point where, again, they keep doing this thing where they put her battle helmet on or whatever, and her hair becomes a mohawk.
Oh God!
And
I really didn't like that.
Right when the first time they do it, when she's on Earth, and she goes to do it, and they show it coming down, her hair's supposed to fall down. It looks fucking terrible. The first time, oh my God, it's so bad.
That final confrontation between her and Jude Law just is so flat and poorly shot. Yeah, that movie. Here's the thing: there's two directors on this. Anna Fleck and I think Ryan Bowden's the guy's name. It's a team. There's definitely a conflicting style in the way this movie is shot.
Yes.
Like the outdoor stuff is just basic outdoorsy shit, but the inside stuff, the interior shots are just poorly framed. The fight scene, like there's a scene towards the end where she fights all the Kree warriors. Like there's like a team. They're like the Green Lantern Corps. Honestly, there's a team she fights. It just doesn't. It's like they missed the action. It's like, you ever watch a home movie where they film the asses of or whoever, your uncle's ass or your uncle's stomach or something, like a birthday party when you're supposed to be filming the kids open gifts. That's how this movie was. It was just random shit. Like when they're on that bridge and it blows up, it's like it's too out of frame. It looked weird. Like I can't believe this was a Marvel movie because I didn't get that feeling. Like I wanted to. Like I don't want to pay $20 to be pissed off.
Well, you get it. Like you can tell that it was very much a movie of two halves. So the beginning of the movie where she's a part of the Kree special unit or whatever that goes to get the dude on the planet. That whole sequence was very different from when she lands on Earth. It is like, so even when they have, one of the connecting characters beside Jude Law is the sniper in the movie. And her in the beginning, when she's like, hey, do you read me? Do you read me? Whatever. And then in the very end, where they show the scene of her, and then, when she crashes the ship, and then at the end, when she's supposed to be starting to fight Jude Law and then her former team, it's like, it's a way different fucking movie. It's like two different you can tell where the two directors were different. It's really fucking, it's obvious. It's very obvious.
Dude, I thought of you. Do you remember the part where they were in the quad jet? It's not the Quinjet yet. And it's towards the end where they're flying through that canyon. Monica Rambeau's mom, Maria Rambeau, and the Kree. Did that not remind you of Independence Day?
100%. That's exactly.
I was waiting for an injection or to say, hope you have an airbag in the fucking Jude Law to hit the fucking the rocks or whatever. I was like, okay, well, they missed an opportunity there too.
I actually thought that throughout the whole thing. I was like, man, this reminds me a lot of Independence Day. And I just look at these two directors. They've worked on multiple movies together.
What do they got?
I think it's, what is it? It's 3 or 4 that they've done together. And this is their first one that actually has a budget to it. So,
well, what are some of the other movies they've done?
Half Nelson, Sugar.
I own that on DVD.
It's kind of a funny story. Mississippi Grind.
I heard Scott Mendelson and I haven't watched it.
Yeah. They've done a couple. Yeah, so they've directed before, and the fact that they've directed before and they're given this movie, and it's like, 2 halves of a movie, isn't good. It's on that does not toll well.
Well, Dion just said something about missed opportunity. I would say this entire movie is full of missed opportunities.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's so much they could have done with this movie, and it's like they tried to cram too much into too little of a space, and it didn't work.
Well,
they Piper Perried it.
Again, that's a great point, right? Missed opportunity, cram too much. So she's supposed to be 6 years working with the Kree. So she's on this elite unit. We gave you these powers. We can take them away. They kept saying that, right? So she's part of this elite unit. They don't want to say this elite unit. They're going after this dude to get his fucking information. And even when she finds out about the Skrull, she's like, I'm sorry. And the guy goes, well, we've both been in a war. There's no point.
No. He says we both have blood in our hands.
blood on our hands. There's no point in this movie where you see the true detriment of her being part of the Kree. So you know that she's part of this unit that's secretive. Jude Law's supposed to be this leader who knows her origin story. And you don't there's no reference to any other missions. There's no reference to what she's done in the past using her powers that you find out in the movie that they truly didn't give to her. There's no so anytime you see a movie, even if you just reference like Rambo or Tears of the Sun, any movie where there's a team, you see that there's a explanation as to why they're that good. Whether it be Navy SEALs or the Expendables, whatever the case, there's an explanation. You believe they're that good because of previous experience. When the beginning of the movie and then the end of the movie, even so, in 6 years, they say that it's been 6 years that she became part of the Kree. Where do you say, hey, she's that good? You don't. There's no point where I believe that the powers that she has warrants this build of her being that powerful. Nothing. So you mean to tell me that between this movie and when she landed, she had no control over her powers, but they knew that she was really powerful? It's really bad story. You know what I'm saying? Like we're at the end of this movie, we're supposed to believe that she's very powerful.
They shit don't show it.
At what point do you believe that? Tell me, at what point do you know? And this is me reading into the movie a little bit too much. At what point do you believe she's that powerful?
The thing is, you don't. She is a cardboard cutout in every sense of the word. Like, it's like, have you ever seen a bad stand-up comedian and they tell you a joke and a punchline and they go, every time she's right. That is her throughout this entire performance. Like, there are supposed to be parts where she's angry or sad, and her emotions don't match up. And here's the problem with a lot of these characters like Rey and Captain Marvel and all these modern female characters. They don't show any expression. They don't fit the scene. Like Princess Leia. Remember when they're going to blow up Alderaan? She goes, what? And she freaks out. And then there's that deleted scene where she's like, you call yourself humans, and she's upset. Like, there's a range of emotion with that character. Ripley shows something. Captain Marvel doesn't show anything. And when they try to throw in the I'm Just a Girl song and all this other shit, it just doesn't fit.
That's a facepalm moment.
What to me was a bigger facepalm was when they started playing Nirvana out of the blue.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed, but clearly Courtney Love needed money.
Yeah, twice. Her shit popped up twice in this.
Yeah, so she was.
Listen. She had to blow somebody. Okay,
I was gonna say her pill box was getting a little low.
Damn it, that was cold.
She was like, I need the money, so I'm gonna go ahead and license a couple of songs because.
But again, I feel like I need to say this everyone knows on this channel, I'm huge on story. When you're trying to present a story that we are to believe, in one, spend our money, and two, agree with what you're saying. So again, you brought up Star Wars with Rey. They wanted us to believe that she was that important based on what she was to the story. It didn't work out. No matter what anyone says, it didn't work out. Whether you agree or disagree, it didn't work out, hence the backlash. You get to Captain Marvel again. The story is Endgame has happened. So whether you are just watching Captain Marvel or not, you know that Endgame has happened. She's important enough for Nick Fury to send her a page. Then you watch this.
Desperate.
I'm hoping that she got snapped and he just doesn't know
they
it.
made him that desperate. So then you watch Captain Marvel. And again, at what point in this movie do you watch it and say, yup, she's the helper?
None, because it's all it all happens too quickly, and there's nothing connects to the other movies. Like, it's just it seems like they rushed it out really badly. It's like, we'll put all this stuff in there, and we need this movie to fill in the space. Why? Just let us wait until fucking Endgame. It's fine. We'll be okay.
At that point. So when people eventually tweet us and mention our shit in comments, there was a channel that I realized that I saw right before I watched the movie. Some really poignant bitch that wanted to try and call us out in the fucking little post again. So even if you like this movie, you watch. There's supposed to be what 20-something years between this movie and Avengers. At what point do you watch this film, and what filler is there at all that explains her being good enough to beat Thanos and the Gauntlet?
Well, dude, look at let's talk about look at she's not worthy to fight Thanos and all this other shit. We already got that out of the way. Let's leave that point alone. Everybody knows that. If you're worried that she's going to come in and OP him, be concerned, because that, for as stupid as this movie is, they'll probably set that up. But
Yeah.
let's talk about the Skrulls and how they fucked them up. Seriously, they made the Skrulls the sympathetic. They're not even heroes, but they're not the villains. You know, you watch this trailer.
They're the refugees.
They're refugees. They're refugees. In a war that they didn't want.
Yeah, look, they subverted your expectations. You thought the Skrull were going to be these crazy shape-shifting aliens that are going to be the future of the MCU in terms of villains. Oh, you know, maybe the President's a Skrull. Maybe Rhodey's a Skrull. Look, all your Skrull theories have been thrown out the window because
they're dead.
Because there's only a couple thousand of them, and they're looking for a home planet. And Captain Marvel doesn't lose her powers or go into a coma. She leaves Earth because, let's be honest, too, this story takes place over what, 25 or 27 hours? Because remember in the movie when she falls to Earth into a blockbuster. She finds a payphone. She jerry-rigs it up to her fucking arm, and she calls outer space. That's
using Radio Shack.
She goes into a Radio Shack and hooks up a Game Boy and a couple other things. And if you think, oh, that sounds funny, that's like the only humor that my theater laughed at.
Also the whole Radio Shack thing reminded me of what was it? Bill and Ted 2.
Yeah, a much better movie.
It just reminded me of shit that's not there anymore.
I know. Yeah. I kind of felt old watching this movie.
I was like wow, Blockbuster and Radio Shack. Oh, they're defunct.
Well, it's like they're trying to sell
it. So going off of your point about the Skrull being made a non-point in the entire fucking universe. So even taking away the comic book nerds again. So she leaves to help the Skrull, right? So everyone that was harping this movie up to be where she was the savior, there's no coma. There's no her being hurt where she's been asleep for 20 years. She leaves to help the Skrull. The fucking Skrull. And
she herself can't be a Skrull based on because
she's not a Skrull.
They tell
she
you
comes back.
Well, the thing is, they tell you in the movie that a Skrull only has short-term memories of their human host.
Short-term memories.
So like
DNA.
But here's the thing, though. I was trying to get the point at. She does all this wonderful stuff and impacts Nick Fury because remember, when she contacts Jude Law, it says, I'll be there in 22 hours. It says it. Like he says, keep whatever you're homing beacon on. We'll be there in 22 hours. So in that 22-hour period, she goes from L.A., then her and Fury, she switches her clothes. Nick Fury picks her up. They go to some base out west in the middle of nowhere. They fly to Louisiana. They do all this shit, and then they go to outer space, and then Jude Law makes it to Earth. It's like it really is like The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, where all these crazy things happen in such a short period of time. And anyone says like, well, what about these other movies? Captain America takes place over years. Iron Man over months. Like, how long is he in the cave? First off, weeks.
But and this is another problem to that, and I don't want to harp on it. But again, this movie, no matter what anyone says, this is a preface to Endgame, bar none. It's not even though it is a origin story for Captain Marvel. It is a fucking preface to Endgame. No one can say different because Endgame's coming out. Period. She's supposed to be a big part of it. This is introducing her into the mythos. To Endgame, the fucking the secret ending for the credits is for Endgame. Again, this movie ends. How does it explain the 20 fucking years between her magically being best friends with Fury and then coming into Endgame?
It doesn't. Look it. All you're doing is illustrating the point we're trying to make, and it's poorly executed on every level. And the best part is, everyone out there that wants to get on Twitter and get on the crucifix for this movie. This is not the movie to do it. It's not like the best part is everyone that they said I'm not interested based on the trailer. Well, the trailer is exactly what the movie is. You're not going to get. You don't have to go see this movie if you already think the movie's flat and boring based on the trailer. The movie actually is flat and boring, and you don't need to watch any of this for the next movie. We're done making that point, Dion. This movie is nothing to do with Avengers Endgame. It shows the Tesseract as a fucking energy source that Annette Bening had to power a cloaked outer space. Here's the thing, too. You think they're going to outer space to do this epic shit. They're just in the Earth's orbit, and this invisible ship appears because she can decloak it with her magical computer. Like, just dumb shit like that.
By the way, we're in the spoiler section of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and again, I bring it up. I don't mean to keep harping on something that we can't prove. Again, I'm trying to play the same ball that people wanted to play before this movie came out. So Marvel, comic book, rant.com, all the blogosphere, everyone made it very clear that this was the film that was supposed to be either one of the best or two, the perfect lead into Endgame. That I'm not making that shit. They wanted it to be. So when I bring this shit up, I'm trying to point that shit out. Well, so even by that standard, they're saying, hey, this is the quintessential Marvel movie before Endgame. This is supposed to be better than Infinity War. This is supposed to be better than Black Panther. It's supposed to be the linchpin for the Avenger movies.
Look at the perfect lead-in was Ant-Man, the end credit sequence where they just disappear.
Yes.
Because then you go, oh, this happened concurrently. What's next? If Marvel really wanted to keep you hooked, look at they're a brand at this point, but Captain Marvel shows you that their branding isn't infallible. Like, I can say I don't like Thor: The Dark World that much, and I don't think Ragnarok's worth that much of my time anymore. I'll still go back to those. There are things in there that are fun or great. This movie is just inconsequential, I think, is the nicest thing I can say, or the nicest way I can say that. And their branding, if this is their future, the MCU is not forever. It's not infallible. Disney has 1,000,001 properties. They got Frozen 2 coming out. They got Dumbo coming out. They got all these other movies. And I'll tell you this too. When I watched the trailer for that Pikachu movie, the Detective Pikachu movie,
I'm all in.
I only think, look it, and I'm not saying this because I'm really not a Pokemon fan. That movie is going to kill the Avengers' legs in the second week. Or the third week or whatever it is. Avengers comes out the 26th, and what is Pikachu, like May 6th or something?
Something like that. It's
maybe
like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, dude, we're all on board for Endgame. I think Pokemon's going to beat Avengers, and it's going to be kind of embarrassing for the MCU. I'm just putting that out there.
I don't
think it's going to be better.
No.
Oh,
no.
Dude, I won't even go to the theater in the first 2 weeks because I want to avoid that crowd. It's going to be some fucking weird people that come out of the woodwork. Go to a Nintendo launch. You think, oh, I'll just pick up my game. People that you don't even know live in your area just randomly appear, and Nintendo people are diehard. They're crazy, weird Star Wars people that you don't see them in public because they never leave their house. But when something new that they like comes out, they will swarm. And if you're like me, you want to stay away from that because it gets weird.
Yeah, it's a whole zombie apocalypse situation. Pokemon Detective Pikachu comes out May 10th.
Okay, so
either way, I'm all in.
Yeah, same here. I'm all in.
It looks like a lot of fun.
That's after Endgame, right?
Yeah, what,
2 weeks later?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Avengers Endgame will be the #1 movie when it launches. The second week it'll be #1, and then Detective Pikachu will beat that because there's a whole other generation of Pokemon fans that we don't really account for. Not that I want Avengers to fail. And here's the thing. This movie, Captain Marvel, has not changed my excitement or my opinion of Avengers Endgame. I'm not any less excited, but post this, like, I don't care about Spider-Man Far From Home. I never did. Trailer didn't do it for me, and I don't like the world. But Avengers was it for me. And if they do not deliver on that, I could see myself slowly or quickly just not going anymore. And it's nothing to do with, women superheroes, because we just have to, squash that right now. If you're on the internet and you say that's what we're saying, you're lying. And you're just as bad as anyone out there that makes up bullshit. So, take that argument and shove it up your ass. That's not even what we're even trying to get at. And, people that are out there, the Rotten Tomatoes thing was fishy. that was really fishy and really strange and suspect. You know, they switched the way it is for this movie. And then all these reviews come out, and the reviews are not good. You know, even your Mary Sue articles that are full of shit, those reviews are, you know, they're trying to elevate it. You know, Dion's right when he's talking about they're trying to make this the linchpin of the MCU. The importance of Brie Larson is just not there. I don't know how this woman won an Oscar, to be honest. You know, they're, Brie Larson won an Oscar. She's great. No. She was great in some other movie, because this sure shit wasn't an Oscar-worthy actress. Really? Everybody, a fucking CGI cat had more personality than this.
That cat was cool.
I will say this, though. I was disappointed how Nick Fury lost his eye. That was so dumb.
That was fucking terrible.
Spoiler alert, the cat scratches it fucking out. And he doesn't even get mad. He goes,
and he keeps the fucking cat. He keeps the cat.
Dude,
anytime
killed that thing.
Anytime the cat was involved and fucking Ben Mendelsohn's character was around, it was just because like Nick Fury's like, oh, he's just a cute little cat, and like Ben Mendelsohn's like, no, and then they scan it and it's like Flurkin, high dangerous whatever, and he's like, it's just a cat, dude.
And also him talking to the cat, like he loved that thing. He loved the cat.
Yeah,
I think that was Marvel. I think that was Marvel trying to sell this movie to a specific internet crowd. You know, with cat memes and all. I'm not joking. Seriously, they look at Disney. We can say what we want to say about Disney, but Disney has the money to do market research.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
They look at who reads Captain Marvel, the 12 people that buy the books each month, and they know that a certain demographic likes, you know, nostalgia and cat videos and all this crap, and they tried to put that into this movie. And I just think your end product was something that doesn't really hit anywhere.
Well, the other point too is with the fucking cat. And again, I'm, you know, purposefully kind of saying the same shit in terms of the story of the fucking franchise. The fucking cat is supposed to be this big thing. You know, it keeps showing up. It's supposed to show this humanized part of Nick Fury. He's talking and fucking baby talking to the cat, and he's talking in baby talk. It takes his fucking eye, and then again, it fucking takes the Tesseract, and then no explanation.
So the Tesseract went from the Red Skull who found it in World War II to Howard Stark who had it, and now we don't know how it went from Howard Stark to Annette Bening's character, right?
Correct.
Because Stark Tech is not mentioned in this movie. Like, you know, if they would have been smart, in my opinion, they would have at least shown the Stark Industries logo on some kind of military weapon. But all that the weird thing too is all of her military stuff was shown in flashbacks, and not good flashbacks.
Fury specifically says he found the Tesseract looking for you when he's talking to fucking Captain America.
Retcon.
So he says that. So he found it looking for you.
Yeah, because he had it in his hand frozen, right? It was frozen when he crashed, right?
It wasn't in his hand, but he
in the plane.
Howard Stark found it underwater in that submarine.
Because it sucks up the Red Skull and then it falls separately.
Yeah.
And then when he's talking to Captain, he goes, well, he found it looking for you.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Now it's
space.
So
we're supposed to believe that Captain America, even going further back than what Jeff's saying, he World War II, he's fighting the Red Skull. The Tesseract falls. Howard Stark finds it. Somehow it gets to S.H.I.E.L.D. Fucking Captain Marvel finds it. The cat eats it and then throws it up or whatever. And then S.H.I.E.L.D. makes weapons from it.
Yeah, that was phase 2.
Because Avengers, he finds the weapons on the helicarrier.
Yeah, the Hydra weapons from World War II, those suits
from World War II. So they're still trying to find, and again, they have the Tesseract in Avengers. That's how Loki gets it.
Yeah, where does Loki get it? Oh yeah, it's in the S.H.I.E.L.D. thing with what's his name?
Yeah, so it jumps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
so they have it.
The retconning, it really does
ruin. Confusing as shit.
Yeah,
it ruins a lot of stuff.
Damn,
yes, it does.
It's horrible.
Well, like, for example, you brought up the part in Avengers where Captain America finds the suit of armor. What was the beauty of a lot of these Marvel movies? I won't say everyone, but a good majority of them. on repeat viewings, you can go and you can find little elements, little threads. But as we've gone on with a lot of these movies, Infinity War aside, the rewatchability and the little threads here and there have been replaced by callbacks. Like in the first Avengers movie, you talk Captain America on the first viewing, he's just the hero, but then there's more to him the more you watch it. The man out of time becomes relevant, the old way over the new way. Just there's certain themes that you can pick out of these other Marvel movies. It would take a really great con artist to try to pick that out of Captain Marvel. And you're saying, well, you've only watched it one time. How can you assess that? Look, I got a lot of these things out of my first viewing of all these movies. I mean, I've only watched a few of them one single time, like Black Panther, and I got everything I needed out of that one too. But unlike Black Panther, who had a charismatic superhero lead, Captain Marvel just fell flat. So we have a couple people that are, actually a lot of people. We got to give the respect to our fans. So 007 Cloud says, Homecoming was dog shit to me. But this movie is worse, and it makes it a mix of horse shit and bullshit.
That's right.
Well, to me, it's worse than Homecoming.
I agree. I'd rather watch Homecoming, and I don't like that movie.
Yeah, at least it's got Spider-Man.
That's true.
Scouts of Entertainment says, hey, American dudes, it's Ben Mendelsohn. Come on.
Oh, dude, he did fantastic. He was one of the best parts of the movie, which illustrates the point. When the supporting players are the best parts of the movie, that really takes away from your lead.
Well, also, the supporting players have been around longer and done more things than... I mean, Ben Mendelsohn last year did more movies and better movies than Brie Larson has ever done in her whole career.
I meant character-wise. It's like when the characters around your main character are better, then that kind of takes away from it. Yeah, the cat was better than the main character.
So, Dion, was it just me, since you and I have read copious amounts of comic books, did the Skrulls not look bad, like the makeup and stuff?
I'm finding it hard to focus. I'm really pissed off talking about this movie, but yeah.
You don't sound like you like it that much.
They look terrible, dude. They looked fucking terrible. It was bad. They look after so many comics with the Skrulls being a serious threat, they looked fucking terrible.
Yeah, I respect the Marvel history. We've been reading these books our entire lives. There's nothing, when I was a kid, there was nothing more exciting than getting like a reprint of an old book and seeing how the artwork was and learning about these alien races and these crazy things, all sometimes under the pen of Stan Lee, who, really wrote the modern classic. A lot of these old comic books, like especially the Spider-Man stuff for me, all the old Ditko and Lee stuff holds up. Yeah, some of it's all dated. It's over 50 years old at this point, but there's a good story works. That's why Star Wars resonates the way it does, because of the hero's journey. There are certain elements that hit us emotionally that will work forever. And, Marvel was the modern myth. And I feel like the longer they're going, they're just running out of steam. So to try to tie everything together, they almost hurt what came before, much like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, where they do alter, Luke Skywalker went on to be the greatest Jedi in the galaxy and restore balance to the Force when, Vader killed Palpatine and all this other shit, and they all lived happily ever after. And then you write all these novels and everything's fine. But then you cancel that out and you ruin Luke, which Mark Hamill agrees with again. You kill Han, you make all these characters bad, and you muddy up the universe. Now, Marvel's way of muddying up the universe, Nick Fury. Well, another thing that pissed me off, too, is how open Nick Fury was to divulging all of his secrets to Captain Marvel. Openly in that restaurant. She just asked him questions and he answers them straight up. Not a single, and it's not even like character development where he changes. It's just like, it's like Nick Fury and Friends. He's so happy-go-lucky. Like, he literally loses his eye, and he's just like, it's just a scratch. That's the word he says, it's just a scratch.
It's getting better is what he says.
Yeah. No, I also love, like, he's about to say motherfucker, but they like take it out. It's just
I think he says mother flirkin.
I think
honestly, again, to emphasize this, he keeps the thing that took his eye.
That's true.
I'm not bullshitting.
No, he keeps it.
It takes his eye, and he's still talking baby talk to it at the end of the fucking movie.
Let's see. Mexi Man and Cheese says SFX artist was diversity hire from Bollywood. Whoever they hired did not do a good job. This is the first time I didn't read all the names of the people in the credits. Usually I sit there and try to read them and chuckle at how many letters they have in a row. But I was busy talking to fans on the Facebook page.
Yeah, if you want to watch a good Bollywood movie, go to Netflix. There are tons of wonderful ones there.
We should get drunk and watch one together, Nick.
Jesus Christ, no.
Okay, we'll just be sober and watch it.
Jesus Christ, no.
007 Cloud says, did you see Stan Lee's Twitter being used to advertise Captain Marvel? Yes, I did.
Yes, it's an abomination.
Yeah, I don't really like when you use the dead to prop up a property. It's like the whole Carrie Fisher thing in episode 9, how they're going to emotionally manipulate you. I mean, it was sad how she died. Let's just let it go. Give her they should have just said episode 8 for Carrie, ended it, and that's it. She got blown up out of the ship. Shit happens in real life. You don't try to dredge up a dead actor. Sometimes it works, like Laurence Olivier and Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. Wasn't that another Jude Law movie?
Yeah,
yes, it was.
I remember that. That was a callback. But other than that, I mean, I don't like when they dig up dead actors. So
yeah, I mean, Carrie Fisher went out the way she lived, man. She partied her ass off.
Yeah. Plus, whenever you follow a Twitter account, somebody that dies and then they tweet, it's kind of terrifying at first. You're like, oh shit, the dead lit. Oh wait, never mind, somebody else.
Yeah, I don't really.
Plus,
I think they should
take her fucking brother too, dude. Like it was that's so cringy.
They should take away the check mark and just
100%.
Look, and the thing is too, if anyone says like, oh, you guys are disrespecting Stan Lee's legacy, no, you are, by allowing his legacy to be used to sell stuff. Stan Lee's legacy is not Captain Marvel. It's not a lot of this MCU stuff. His cameos. Stan Lee's legacy is the characters. It's on paper. His cameos are great and they're a legacy to the next generation. But I mean, his contribution to the stuff he brought to comics. I think a lot of people get mad because he got too much credit. Jack Kirby did a lot of the work, or Ditko, or Don Heck, or these other guys, these names that you don't know that added a lot, because a lot of times Stan Lee would just write like a paragraph, like Captain America meets the Human Torch at a car show. That was a Strange Tales I read the other day. That's a true comic book. The Human Torch melts the road.
Interesting.
It wasn't too shitty, but I'm just saying. And then a lot of times these artists would go in and fill it in, but Stan Lee would get writing credit for writing in the word balloons and stuff like that. I understand the older guys bitches about Stan Lee. With that being said, though, to remove his contribution because you feel Jack Kirby didn't get a fair shake, also at the same time isn't fair, because a lot of these artists would go on to work with other creators or write and draw their own things without an editor. And this isn't a dig at Jack Kirby, so don't anybody take it like that. But sometimes this shit falls apart. People can say, well, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are two of the greatest creations of Steve Ditko. Yeah, but when he was on his own, Mr. A, I'm really not an objectivist the way Ayn Rand is. So that stuff doesn't appeal to me. When you have Stan Lee there to kind of, guide it, that's why these things became great. So let's not forget he did that instead of trying to use him to sell stuff. That bothers me. That's why I'm kind of okay they didn't sell the Stan Lee action figure that was supposed to come out and advertised, because he was still alive when they canceled it, but maybe never release it. I would have bought it. I was willing to spend $80 on these other 4 figures to get Stan Lee's Build-A-Figure, but at the same time, I don't know. See, we're in a weird place on Stan Lee, because we all, especially Dion and I, all love Stan Lee so much. It's kind of like we just want to remember him a certain way. But that's another topic.
And you bring up Stan Lee's, kind of to bring it even more personal. You brought up, him being that voice for a lot of those characters. One of my favorite characters, Daredevil. Everyone was so scared to bring a blind character, and Stan Lee was just kind of like, let's just go with it, let's roll with it. He was one of the voices over it, and then when the character released, it was when people reacted and reached out and said, hey, I'm blind, and it's nice to see a comic book character. And Stan Lee was the voice that said, okay, let's keep doing Daredevil, and that's one of my favorite fucking characters. So
mine too.
Yeah, well, yeah, you and I love you. Probably you're the person I know that loves Daredevil as much as I do. And again, I say that to say this. Don't fucking use his fucking Twitter to fucking hype the movie. Don't pretend to be this fucking altruistic character person, and then the dude who died, use his fucking Twitter to harp the movie up. Don't fucking do that. That's terrible. That's fucking horrible.
And let's give one more piece of respect to Stan Lee too. It was Stan Lee who wanted to do the drug issue of Spider-Man, which a lot of people don't know. Yes. I think it's is it 91? I don't remember the exact issue, but Harry Osborn has a pill addiction, and the Comics Code Authority did not want to allow that. And it was Stan Lee that went out of his way to do that. So, I mean, he was really a trendsetter. And the funny thing, too, is like these Marvel comics, people want to tout, we need diverse this and that. It's like, this shit was around before you people were born. Like, you're trying to, put your mark on history. Sorry, but Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and like a bunch of other people in New York beat you to the punch decades ago. And that's why a lot of people online roll their eyes when you hear, well, the X-Men are going to be more diverse. It's like, they already are.
Yeah. What more can you want?
They're diverse by default.
Yeah,
and X-Men's a great character, great example. He fucking loved the X-Men. He specifically, even in the fucking in the special additional shit for Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man, he mentions that in the special shit about how he wanted fucking X-Men to be about race.
And you know what? And that's why when people when we say we don't want certain politics in our movies, it's not about you can't tell a good political story. It's that it's poorly executed today. John Carpenter's They Live tells a really great story of consumerism, anti-consumerism.
Oh God, and yeah, you and me did the commentary for that. And we talked about how it was on both sides that they told the story against this giant thing. It was from both sides that you saw this story happen.
I think when it comes down to it, a lot of these things are just poorly executed today because today's filmmakers aren't that good. They were raised on stuff like, okay, Spielberg and Lucas and all these really creative people that made these groundbreaking films. They were raised on the classics. They took the classics, they infused so many different elements together to make their own stories, their own personal experiences. Today's people don't live that interesting of lives, comparatively speaking. I mean, well, I was on Facebook. Whoopty shit, you sat in a room. Other people have gone out, lived, done things, experienced things. People would write a book. They go on a trip to write a book. They see stuff that inspires them. It creates these characters. It's just today's people aren't as talented. There are exceptions. There are truly great people out there still making stuff. A lot of people that haven't been found yet. But at the same time, we're stuck in this era where buzzwords and a small vocal minority on the internet tries to corral, this is what we need in entertainment. And then when a lot of people say no, then they throw out the claws and the fangs come out, and it gets really nasty. And that was really the Captain Marvel buildup. And my favorite part is the movie went over like a wet fart in church. It just, but that's my favorite thing about it. Like, I take pleasure in knowing there's so many people that are going out of their way to like try to degrade people for not thinking the same way as them. And then the product is dog shit at the end of it. It's just like,
yeah. That helps. Well, also another thing that happens is that they harp on the message too hard. It's like, this thing is in your face. This is what's happening right now. It's in your face. Enjoy it. Like, I can't, because you're preaching at me the whole 90 minutes of this movie. Stop.
Right. And going off of the writer part, especially now, there's this need to be the person saying the most important thing. Like every writer wants to be, it's it's Black History Month, so we want to come out with Black Panther for that reason, as opposed to coming out with a good story. It's Women's History Month, so we want to come out with that. Fucking Jeff brought up a good point. The writer, Stan Lee was a great example, but another, especially when we were kids, you have writers like Tom Clancy, who didn't do comic books, but did books, who in the 90s had crazy stories and fucking researched it and talked to people in that field who were there during the fucking Cold War. And it's people who actually want to tell the stories of people in that time period. And nowadays with Captain Marvel and Black Panther, you don't have that anymore. No one wants to tell those particular stories without the fucking hyperbole, and it's so obvious. It's so fucking obvious.
Let's see. Logan Michael says, my whole Masters of the Universe shelf just fell down. Smiley face. How is Captain Marvel? Well, it's the cinematic equivalent of having to pick up all your action figures. Kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Turbo Donk, still one of my favorite screen names. No one. Kendo. Beep boop. Beep boop. Servant of God 777 has 2 super chats. Thank you very much for both of those. Would you guys say that Captain Marvel is a dumpster fire or a junkyard fire?
I don't know if I'd call it a fire.
I'd say a nice little campfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but campfires have positive connotations.
Yeah, this was just
It's before Endgame.
there. This was just there.
Yeah.
Have you ever been like outside of a dump and you can smell it's kind of stinky, but it still looks okay at points? There you go. That's Captain
In other
Marvel.
words, you're saying it's a landfill.
That's
Yeah,
a landfill. It's a landfill.
Landfill, we miss you.
Just say landfill next time, you weirdo.
All right. Landfill next time. I said it. Anyway, Servant of God 777 also says, also, how empty was the theater? Well, mine was mostly full, but by the sound of it, it sounded like I was the only person there. Dion, again, what was your attendance?
It was full, but it was fucking quiet as shit outside of the obvious jokes with Sam Jackson.
Kendo?
75% with mild chuckling.
Nick?
25 to 30% with little to no chuckling.
It's weird. You're in the biggest city. You think that most people would come out for Captain Marvel.
Well, also, once again, closest theater, I didn't go to the big one down the road because too far.
Nick can't handle the big one.
Well, no, it would have been, it would take me too long to get back with traffic and everything. I just didn't want to do it. So,
Great Loner says post-credit scene leaked already. Save your money. Yeah, and I hate to say it, the post-credit sequence. We'll at the end of the stream, we'll tell you exactly what it is. If good,
because I didn't watch those.
Oh, okay. They're not great.
You really didn't?
No, I was ready to fucking get out of there. I don't think you realize how bored and tired of sitting in that seat I was at that point. And I'm not the type of person that gets bored and can't handle watching a 2-hour movie. I can sit still for 2 hours and watch a movie. But by the end of that one, I was just like, I'm not staying for the I was the only one that got up and like booked it. Everyone else is like sitting there like ruffling and like pulling out their phones like, oh my God, it's a fuck Marvel. I'm like, I gotta go. I got work to do.
Jason Green says, I'd rather be Dion's bitch for a year using gravel for lube than watch Captain Marvel.
Jeez.
Well, Dion likes the movie, so he'll watch it with you.
Don't say that. He'll hold you to that.
Well, Jason Green's the dude that sends all those cool records, Dion.
Oh, sweet, my man.
TLJ Screwjob says, the only reason I know of Adam Warlock is Comics Explained. Yeah, Comics Explained does offer a service to people, but at the same time, I also suggest people go out and read the books. I mean, there are different means to read the books. We'll never tell you how, but there's so much more. Like I like Rob's voice to a degree. Sometimes when I draw Stealing Solo, I've listened to that, but I also, will read the story so I get the full thing. He doesn't tell you everything. And, sometimes the creepy old dude like Joel is the best person to talk to about a comic book story because they know everything.
But he's so creepy and old, though.
I'd rather not talk to Joel.
Well, Star Wars Celebration.
Damn it.
Yeah. Let's see. Leo Breaker 49. Thank you very much. Evening. I'm late, but what I've heard so far, I'm pissed. Going back to Alita this weekend. Well, Leo Breaker, go ahead and still check out Endgame if you liked what you saw from previous MCU flicks. You won't miss a beat when it comes to this movie. Seriously. I can't stress that enough. For those out there waiting for us to say that, if you like this channel and what we represent and how we make videos, trust us. You do not need to see this to understand Endgame at all.
Not at all.
No. And another thing, too, remember the post-credit sequence to, oh, God, which one was the movie before Civil War? Was it Guardians? Was it like literally what was the movie where the post-credit sequence was just literally the scene from Civil War? Because there's a post-credit sequence where Bucky's arm is stuck in the thing and Cap and Falcon are talking to him.
Well, right before Civil War was Ant-Man, but I don't think that was in it. Was it?
That might have been it, honestly.
Yeah, it may have been that, yeah.
Because remember, that scene's in the movie, so the post-credit sequence may just literally be a scene from Endgame.
It probably is.
I think it is. So, folks, don't really, if that's what your main concern is, don't be duped. We wouldn't lie to you. You can message us tonight and be like, can I get a word-for-word representation of what happened? I can paraphrase it because I don't remember everything, but we'll do our best. Let's see. Swinging Cod says, Adam Warlock started out as him, a construct of the ultimate human by a shady org, then resurrected by the high evolutionary on Counter-Earth. #nerdcred. Well, you know it better than we do.
The band him sucks.
Hashtag.
Billy Vallow.
Adam Warlock sucks.
Well, I prefer San Dimas football, but whatever.
Hey, San Dimas and Van and never mind.
San Dimas football rules.
That's right.
High Reclusart Grimaldus, thank you very much. Captain Marvel, I can't believe I shaved my balls for this of the MCU film. Hey guys, glad I could catch you.
Wait, hold on. Were you on a date? Is that why you did that? I hope so. Jeez.
That might be a listener from the St. Louis area, and because there's a radio show in the morning, and they had a thing going about I shaved my balls for this based off something they did, and they made a T-shirt out of that. So he might be a local to the kendo.
Well, High Reclusart
That, that sounds very St. Louis.
Yeah. We're glad to have you back. I haven't heard from you in a while. Then again, we haven't been doing too many live shows, so. Grand Inquisitor says, guys, Rotten Tomatoes took down the audience score. Jeremy did a vid. It was at 59%. Just checked, and it's not available. Ooh, see, they're trying to move that goalpost back.
They do that. If they're really taking down the audience score and they're like, oh, sorry, we're not going to have this up. We're changing our policy again. Then there's something fucky going on in the house.
Yeah,
they are. You know they're going to do that. You absolutely 100% because they watched the fucking movie, and you know they're going to do that shit.
And they'll put out a stupid thing. Well, it's something we were planning on doing for a while. Sure.
Yeah,
it's the internet fans that changed it. It's the internet fans that did it, guys.
Here's the thing: if the internet fans are what changed it, we equal dollars. A hashtag online isn't necessarily I supported this movie. We did, for the people, and we went out there. I'm not trying to sound like a martyr here, so don't take it like that. But we went out there, and if you like us and you're not interested in what we've said, well, then make up your own mind. But we didn't call for a boycott. This movie doesn't need a boycott. It sucks, just flat out. Like, it's not like you need to boycott to send a message, because this movie, people will realize that it's
word of mouth will take care of this.
Yeah, Ludacris did a good job.
Yeah, even if you look at all the critics, some of them who have called it not that good are women. Like,
yeah. If you listen to the narrative that they say it's only angry white guys that are rating this movie poorly, no. Even Scott Mendelson in a tweet said it's a movie I like less the more I go ahead, say what you're gonna say.
Well, I was gonna say, and if you want to try to target us with that, there's only one angry white guy on this channel, and he's not really that angry.
No.
He's kind of perturbed.
One thing I do want to say though about like the power of like YouTube and Fandom Menace and all that stuff is realistically, people called out The Last Jedi on the really funky Rotten Tomatoes scores, the discrepancy between the fans and the critics. And I told you Solo, they wouldn't try that shit again, and they did not. And the movie was whatever. It failed. It was a flop. It didn't make its money back. And it had a middling score. I don't think in a post Last Jedi world that Captain Marvel could have pulled that shit, honestly. I think the scores are pretty representative. I know a lot of people are rating it on intention instead of execution. Brie Larson's a queen and all this shit. You know who did a great job? Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman. Well, did you guys like Wonder Woman more than this?
Yeah, I would rather watch Wonder Woman more than this movie.
Yeah,
the Olsen in Avengers.
Who?
The Olsen sister in Avengers did a way better job than fucking Brie Larson.
Well, would you rather watch Wonder Woman than Captain Marvel?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Let's see. Vincent Repeat says, does this mean there are now 7 Infinity Stones instead of 6 Infinity Stones?
No, there's still just the 6.
Yeah, they just moved the Tesseract around, so...
They just changed its origin story.
This is Luke's lightsaber all over again.
Yeah, that's a story for another time.
Don't remind me.
I'm sorry. I just thought of that comparison.
Fucking livid at that moment in the movie.
Let's see. Klein Dropper says, like a good soldier, I paid for Lita, but snuck into Captain Marvel. The only time I got emotional was the end credits, seeing the real Avengers being tainted by Captain Mary Sue. Kills Endgame for me.
The thing is, I wouldn't even call her Mary Sue because she does get her ass kicked.
She does get punched in the face a lot. If you hate her and you want to watch some bootleg, Brie Larson gets beat up a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't just insta win like Ray does, and not everybody loves her right away because like
nobody likes her.
Yeah. I was gonna say, no one really likes her at all. And Jude Law, you think that they're buddies, but it turns out he was just using her the whole time. She's not a Mary Sue. I wouldn't rate her as a Mary Sue, but I am slightly worried that she's gonna show up in Endgame and just like one shot Thanos. I'm like, damn it!
I
let the raccoon do it.
I don't want that to happen. Do I think it'll happen? I mean, here's the thing: if somebody, you gun in my head, Jeff, do you think it's going to happen? I think it could happen. I don't put anything past a Disney-owned property at this point. We've seen what they did to Star Wars. We've seen what they can do to other properties. You can have pointless garbage come out and all these other things. So I mean, I'm hesitant, you know, in to talk about that post-credit sequence where you see all the Avengers. Like I said a minute ago, or when we started this, the 14 seconds of acting that Scarlett Johansson gave trumped all of Brie Larson's.
Well, she's also better.
She's here's the thing too. So we know that Endgame takes place over a long period of time because Black Widow's hair grows, because there's this pictures of her with the short blonde hair, and then she's got longer red hair with like the blonde tip, so it grew out. So, you know, time has passed. In the post-credit sequence to this movie, it takes place in the beginning of the, like, right after. So Cap still has his beard, Black Widow still has the blonde hair, all this stuff. And you see Rhodey, and you see Hulk, aka Bruce Banner, and you see Bruce Banner. And Captain Marvel just kind of appears, and she looks like a crazy cat lady, and she looks so out of place. And it's not even like her hair's all frizzled. She looks like Doc Brown, but if Doc Brown sucked. That's what she is. She's like, oh, great Scott, you call me? And she just shows up. She's like, Johnny Wishbone, you say my name, and poof, I'm right back.
Where's Fury? Where's Fury?
Yeah, that's what she says. You know, how are they such good friends? They drove around and they flew to Louisiana.
That's also a good question. How are they such good friends? She's been like roaming the universe for 20 years.
Fucking years, guys.
Like, I mean, does her little communicator like immediately send message through her like faster than light, and she has another one on the other end. She can just type to him while she's flying through, you know, galaxies and shit. Is that what it is?
She's got a sidekick, BRB.
So you don't know their life. They probably are like text buddies. They're like phone friends
across the universe.
It does say that in the movie.
Do they send pictures to each other? How does that work?
It's
radio out of office email, bro.
Yeah, dude, radio signals travel really well. Like, I mean, it might take like 25 minutes to get that message, but you know, you'll get it. It just takes a while to get it.
They travel the speed of light, and even that's not fast enough.
It's a Motorola, dude.
She is the Tesseract, so there you go.
Oh God, don't remind me.
TLJ Screwjob says, but guys, it doubled Black Panther pre-order sales. Hey, we will see.
Black Panther was better.
Black Panther, dude. I can't believe I'm saying this. Like, I kind of want to watch Black Panther to get the taste out of Captain Marvel.
Well, I'm just gonna watch Infinity War. That's the easiest. Either that or Top Gun. I'll watch a real flying movie from that
I
time.
kind of want to bust out like Spider-Man 2 or something to get my favorite superhero movie, you know, back in the mix. But I don't want to get into that because then I'll get sad that the real Spider-Man's no longer with us. Eric
died.
Yeah, he died. He just
R.I.P. Toby.
Yeah. Eric Stockberger, thank you very much. I took a flask of rum with me. Some was left at the end, so it wasn't a total bust.
Good man.
Well,
good man.
Going for you then.
There was a guy drinking a giant beer next to me. I was so jealous that I wasn't drinking. Huge Ass says, did the credits include the butt double? Flex emoji.
I didn't even see a butt double in that movie.
I didn't see that she had a butt.
The other girl did, but that's a topic for another time.
Yeah,
we'll get into that later.
Yeah. Leo Breaker 49 says they used Stan's Twitter to promote the film. Yeah, we saw that. It was in bad taste. It wasn't
not cool, dude. Not cool.
Tim Riggs, thank you very much. I think they left themselves at possible out with Brie. Endgame is 20 years later. Monica will be old enough to take up the mantle after Endgame. Let me just throw this out there. What if the big heroic loss is fucking Captain Marvel and Captain America survives and just rides off into the sunset? That would be funny to me.
I said from the fucking jump that she isn't going to be the one to save the day, so I'll take that fucking bet.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
If you're out there, press 1 if you'd like to see Captain Marvel make the ultimate sacrifice because she's the most powerful hero in the movie. Dude, imagine that. She goes to fight Thanos and she's like holding the gauntlet and she beats him, but she dies at the same time and we're absolved of any Captain Marvel sequels. That's a snap.
She was gone for fucking 20 years without explanation. It fucking makes sense.
Couldn't he theoretically just snap again and call another half? And just hope that the fucking lottery, brings up that person's number and gets rid of her to save himself. I mean, he could do it. He's got the gauntlet, He's still got all the stones. He could just let's get rid of another half. All right, so we quartered the universe.
Knowing his luck, he'll keep snapping, and then he'll disappear, and then she'll be gone, or she'll be there, and everyone else is gone. It's just her. She's like, well, I have the personality of stone, so. Oh, well.
I mean, you keep snapping. There's like what a good like a 1,000th of the universe left at that point. It's like there's like literally 7 people over 8 planets. Damn you, Thanos! We can't even repopulate. It's all dudes.
Michael Easterwood has the most interesting super chat of the night. First off, thank you very, very much, Michael. I live in Decatur, Georgia, a pretty left-wing town. I took my girlfriend to see Greta tonight and got screamed at by what I can only assume was a male feminist for depriving my girlfriend of a female hero. She told him she was a DC fan.
Let's see, you were in Decatur. Yeah, you're not that far from me. And I'm pretty sure I know what theater you went to as well.
Well, it's so funny when you get these people that are trying to tell like women, this is your hero. What if they don't like her? You know, you can't tell these people what to like.
Well, it's the same thing with Black Panther. You know, it's like, oh, here, black people, here's your hero. It's like, we had Blade. You guys had Blade. I mean, you had
even then, you know, this idea, you know, Black Panther was very specific, right? Because it's Black History Month. You know, the whole idea behind that, one of the many ideas, is that hey, you know, don't do what they tell you to do. And a part of they was, hey, this is your hero. Like it, buy it because we said so. You know, there are very few things that are very anti-civil rights than saying, hey, like this because you are supposed to. That's
it really
very disingenuous.
It puts black people and women into a corner realistically. It's like this represents you. No, it fucking doesn't.
Exactly.
I can identify with the Incredible Hulk and he's green or gray depending on the era that he's printed in. I mean, you should never. A kid doesn't have to go support anything because they look like him. If
a grown man or a grown woman doesn't do that either. It's like, hey, you're a woman. You like this bitch. I like Black Widow, or I like Scarlet Witch, or I like Storm.
Or Batman. I know tons of women who like Batman but don't like comic books. I think Batman's a pretty, like my grandma, 95 years old soon. She knows Batman. She likes Batman. She wouldn't watch this movie to save her life, but she'll sit down. I shit you not, dude, because a couple years ago, before my cousin had a baby, because she lives with my aunt and uncle, that part of the family would go on a vacation, and we'd go over to my grandma's and watch her. I know that sounds kind of weird to say, but we babysit like a 92-year-old woman. It was great. I'd cook her breakfast, hang out, do all kinds of stuff. And every time I would put on a Batman movie, she would just sit and watch it. Oh, I like Batman. I don't get it. I don't know what it is, but my grandma dug Batman. My mom loves Batman. She's seen every Batman movie. We saw Justice League in theaters together. I mean, there's just an appeal. It doesn't, you don't have to be a woman and only like Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel. I think the internet has become so regressive and basically stupid to try to push that narrative. Us guys, we could all say Storm's our favorite X-Men character. We don't have to love Wolverine. I do, but you don't have to because you're a guy. It's so dumb the way these, the best part is too, these writers of these bad websites, they seem to be thinning out. They're just disappearing. What was it? The Huffington Post cut out its opinion section.
Finally.
BuzzFeed gets less and less views and clicks. I mean, they're garbage stuff. You can't trust these people. Integrity goes a long way. That is why a lot of YouTubers have such good success or great success here, because, we don't go back on our words and we believe in what we believe in, and we tell you guys that, and you believe in what you believe in. We come together and we have common ground.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I mean, with that as well, I mean, it's not, especially with things like that, like you can only be clickbait so much. Like you can only be sensationalism so much, and then people are just bored of it. And you're just like, oh, you're that site. Oh, you're that thing. And like, yeah, I don't trust you. Sorry.
I'm a white guy, and my favorite Ghostbuster is the black guy.
Yeah.
He's got a name, Kendo. Okay, he's got a name.
Yes, so Winston Zeddemore, as played by Ernie Hudson.
And the funny thing is, when we do Wokebusters, that is your character that you will represent.
I don't know. If it was up to those people, like, no, you can only like one of those other three. But I like Winston the best. He's my favorite. He's always been my favorite ever since I was little. Now you have to like Egon because you wear glasses too, and you identify with his. Oh. Okay, then that's a big Twinkie. Well, wait, that was Winston. Damn it, I can't do it.
If anybody tells you that, they're a fucking moron because they give you the correction between like your glasses, you gotta like the character who wears glasses. That's beyond idiotic. Like Egon, and especially Egon was more than his glasses. Let's put it that way as well. Jesus.
Yeah, he was also Janine. Yeah.
He tried to drill a hole in his head, and it would have worked. God wouldn't have stopped him.
There's been times at work I've considered it.
Well, don't until at least.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't.
We need you because we're not looking for replacements. If you die, we're not replacing you. There's just going to be a shadow in your spot.
That's fine. I'm just having an empty open mic that you just occasionally play fucking weird sounds through. It's like, well, his connection's fucked up again.
Yeah, Kendo's still with us in spirit.
He's beep booping from beyond the grave.
Going anywhere.
I would actually be really upset. Let's not talk about this because to know one of you would be dead and the show would continue would make me really sad. I'd just be like, oh, there's always an empty chair. Anyway, Eddie Grizz, thank you very much. This shite was worse than Kendo's connection.
I agree.
Oh God.
Let's see. Obi-Wan 27883 says, I just went to go see Alita with my friend for an 8 showing, and they switched it to Captain Marvel between looking it up at home and driving to the theater. What crap?
Jeez.
I know a lot of people were like all flipped out because like they would go to look at the schedule for the 7th and 8th. They're like, well, only Captain Marvel's showing. Something's up. Well, the thing is, like, the way the theaters do things, they get certain numbers of spots for their screenings that they got to do, and so they filled the Captain Marvel ones first because they knew they had to do X number of those, and then they were able to patch them in later. But I mean, to have one where you're like, oh, I'm going to see Alita, and then they're like, oh, sorry, Captain Marvel only. That's a little weird.
Yeah, that is.
Blacklist Universe, which is the fantastic artist Mike S. Miller, says, guys, you're missing the whole racist cucking of Fury. I don't know if I'd call him cucked out, but he was definitely not as cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't go so far as the cucked out, but he definitely was kind of more. He wasn't the bad motherfucker that we know.
Well, I mean, I think they couldn't show that because that's later on when he's, like it's 20 years after the fact. Now he's like the young agent who's got a desk and things.
He liked that cat though, and I couldn't blame him. That cat was adorable. I fucking wish I had a cat that would just tentacle fucking tear down anything that was bothering me. Like, hey, there's somebody at the door and I don't want to answer it. The cat just walks up, boom, nails him. I'd be like, yep. That's why I got a flirkin. Not if the flirkin does it.
Let's say.
What are they going to do? The cat got him. Oh, okay.
Dark Vicious says anything lower than 2 stars don't count. No less than 50%. I guess that's how the Rotten Tomatoes score works.
Well, there was a discrepancy with that, and I sent you guys the screen grabs. I don't think it was yesterday, where it was like all critics it was like certified fresh with like a 7 rating out of 10. But then the top critics, it was like 20 percentage points lower, and it was like a 6 out of 10, and it was like a 63% or something weird.
Yeah,
I don't know how they do
it's
their
weird.
shit.
It's weird how they're counting it. Well, you can go to other movies and look at that up too, and it's like the same thing, and it's just off. So
they have a weird scoring system.
Yeah.
Maref Dialine says, just tune in, still watching Poldark with Grandma. Jeff, Poldark is a PBS show about a feud between 2 families in England just after the Revolutionary War until the French Revolution. I recommend highly. Well, let me take a screenshot of that, Maref Dialine.
I'm always down for some good PBS about Britain.
I do like PBS. That's where I got my love of Are You Being Served and Keeping Up Appearances from.
That's such a great fucking... Both of those are excellent TV shows. Guys, if you want to watch something other than Captain Marvel, go watch Are You Being Served or Keeping Up Appearances. Learn about the bucket woman that me and Jeff talk about occasionally.
She'll sing at me.
The bucket woman. Jeez.
TLJ Screwjob says, let that sink in. Dion isn't interested in Brie.
Yeah. Well, I think we plow a couple more drinks in Dion, he'd be air humping for Brie in no time.
Air humping for Brie?
She satisfies both of the check marks that he needs for a woman.
TK.
What, white and cardboard?
Well, white and alive, but yeah.
Oh, God.
Hey, Dion, have you seen those new commercials with Elon Musk's mom?
Oh,
yes.
Dude, every time I see them, I think of Dion. I'm like, Dion is hard right now.
Every time I'm like, I know somebody, one of my good close friends right now is got a little tingly going on.
Well, can't all be winners. TK says, did they seriously merge Marvel and the Supreme Intelligence?
They tried.
They gave it a shot.
Well, no, I thought the Supreme Intelligence is whatever you want to see in your mind.
Right.
And it was a private, personal thing. So she wanted to see Mar-Vell because she couldn't remember her past.
Right.
It was somebody that you look up to or something like that. So, like, you know, you'd see like a relative or something that you loved or something if you went under. She saw Mar-Vell.
So Dion might see Muhammad Ali or something, you know?
Yeah, possibly. Or Lena.
Or Lena, I'm about to say.
Folks in the chat, let me know who you'd see as your Supreme Intelligence if you connected to the machine. I guess I'd have The Rock or somebody cool like that. I'd like to think so. Mine would probably be like,
dude, somebody posted The Rock, but with Elon Musk's face.
That makes me uncomfortable.
It's really weird. It's really, really weird.
I'd see myself because I'm a self-absorbed prick.
That's true. You are a prick. But yeah, TK, they did merge those, but not necessarily like for everybody. The Supreme Intelligence is like, honestly, it's like these blue tendrils that wrap around you and you go into this like state and you can fight in there. And that's when she went and saw or heard Nirvana come as you.
And I was gonna say you can go in there and listen to Nirvana at your will.
Yeah, the 90s. The funny part is too, like when she was on that payphone, there was just a wall of like melancholy sadness that and whatever it's called, the Smashing Pumpkins album. They had a Rock the Vote poster. They had all this crap.
She wore a 9 Inch Nails shirt.
Yeah, it was.
And also, thank God they didn't put the year when she was there. Nobody said the year either. It was just like the 90s. Okay, good, fine, whatever.
To be fair, I knew exactly what year it was because she shot a True Lies cardboard cutout, and True Lies came out in 94. I was like, this has to be 95.
Yep, yeah, because she shot Schwarzenegger.
It was Attack on the Masculinity of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, True Lies. What
so toxic.
What a wonderful movie.
We had a $5 super chat retracted from Australia. Thank you very much. Jason Stevens, thank you very much. Tree Larson is Captain Marvel. I think I want to use that.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
True 02 Baller says, was Mar-Vell mentioned or was he in the movie? Actually, Mar-Vell is a woman now. Mar-Vell is Annette Bening.
Yep.
Okay, so we're in the spoiler territory. Fuck it.
We're deep in it.
So Carol Danvers was born on Earth. And she's in the Air Force, and there's this doctor something. What was the doctor's name? Like Nancy something, or whatever.
McGillicuddy. It is it's oh god,
Lawson. Yeah, Lawson, Nancy Lawson, right?
Yeah, Lawson.
Lawson.
Yep, has to be Lawson.
Anyway, she was gonna test out something, and she got shot down, and it turns out she was Mar-Vell, a Kree the entire time, hiding out on Earth, trying to create this hyperdrive ship with the Tesseract. So that's Mar-Vell's a woman now. So if you see Annette Bening in the trailer, that's Mar-Vell. They do a callback though to the first appearance of Captain Marvel when she so Brie Larson changes the color of her suit. She doesn't get a new suit in the movie. She's got this ARM computer and she lets the little girl pick out the color scheme. And right before she goes to the blue costume that's in all the trailers and posters, she has a gray and green suit, which is the same color as the first appearance of Captain Marvel. So there are callbacks, but then again, they're adapting a character that is liked but not loved, like Spider-Man or other characters.
Every other character.
Jason Green says, since Brie is a plank of wood, Hulk should pick her up and beat Thanos to death with her. Would at least give her a reason to be in the movie.
I mean, I'd be okay with Hulk beating Thanos.
I would too.
Bit much for me.
Raiders of the Lost Flicks, thank you very much. Brie sounded the ceremonial woke horn, and the SJWs are coming out of the cracks into the sidewalks to white knight for this woman. Hashtag Alita challenge.
Yeah, if they have the money, to afford to buy a ticket, then yeah, by all means go.
Whatever. I can't speak for everybody in the general audience, but I don't think this movie will hit with general audiences.
Probably not.
It's just so mundane. We almost expect way more out of a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like even Doctor Strange, which I've only watched twice, had memorable moments. Like the Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Like that part.
Doctor Strange is actually really fun. I watched it the first time, expecting to be bored out of my skull, and I messaged you right away. I was like, I watched Doctor Strange. I really fucking like this movie.
Told you. And too, like the relationship between Ant-Man and his daughter is very, endearing.
It's very genuine as well.
Yeah, Paul Rudd is a great actor. That little kid does a good job. The little girl in this movie does a nice job, who would go and be Monica Rambeau, but Brie Larson and her just don't have this like chemistry.
No,
You know,
no.
Paul Rudd, it feels like that is his real daughter. It just works.
That's
Oh
'cause
yeah,
he's a
yeah, and
national
like those
treasure.
are, yeah, those are two movies that that I will rewatch all the time. I love those movies.
And me, who doesn't really like Ant-Man 2 that much, there are really great parts of it.
Mhm.
Edward Antonowitz says Captain Marvel or Man of Steel, and why?
Man of Steel. Because if I want to watch Superman, I want to watch the real thing.
Dion, Nick?
Man of Steel.
Okay, I'll just say Man of Steel as well. I love Dragon Ball Z, so why not?
And Lisa.
Yeah. I'm fed up with this world. Super Nintendo Chalmers. Or sorry, Basil says Super Nintendo Chalmers.
What a great fucking name. I loved it.
I did too. I'm so sorry, Basil, but I read it correctly the second time, making me laugh. Edward Antonowitz again says best way to introduce Squirrel Girl / Miss Marvel. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't. Just don't.
I hate to say it, but don't cater to the Tumblr crowd in the movies.
No,
they are just too weird for your everyday American that's gonna or worldwide audience that's gonna go see this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say they are a very, very tiny percentage, and they are not representative of your core fan group.
No. TLJ Screwjob says so. Cap isn't the first Avenger then. God damn it!
Told you, retcon.
They really ruin it because the Avengers get their name from Captain Marvel's airplane.
Yeah, her call sign. That's her
Their
call sign.
is Avenger.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that made me roll my eyes pretty damn hard.
Yeah, me too. I
Yeah.
was like, oh come on.
Especially since that's not normal, because I'm pretty sure they don't actually put the names of the pilots on the sides of the planes because you get a different plane each time, or you're not always in the same plane.
Well, it's cute for the story.
Oh my god.
Chad Fred says Jackson is bad Nick Fury. Universe doesn't fit. I don't think he's a bad Nick Fury. He's just different in this movie.
Yeah, he's very, very played down and youngified.
Well, the thing is, too, if you're out there and you prefer the old school Nick Fury with the eye patch, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like a James Bond story, remember, this Nick Fury is based off Ultimate Nick Fury, which was created in 2000, which has always looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Go back and look at the first appearance of Ultimate Nick Fury. It's Sam Jackson. So they just adapted that. If we're going to make him in the comic book, well, I think the actual thing is Sam Jackson said, if you put me in the movies, we'll be fine in terms of whatever. Yeah. So, go for that. I like that Nick Fury, but I do like the classic Nick Fury as well. The Steranko stuff. That would be a cool movie that they could never make.
You know what they should have done? They should have crossed over, since it was 1995. They should have crossed him over with his fucking character from Pulp Fiction. So the part where the guy called Nicholas in the elevator instead of Fury after he went on that diatribe about how everybody calls him Fury, and he kind of turns and gives him that "you motherfucker" look. He should have turned and looked and be like Ezekiel 25:17 and pulled out his gun. I would have. That would have made the movie. I'd like greatest Marvel movie of all time.
Yeah, they should have went heavier on the Pulp Fiction references. I think a lot of people would have forgiven.
Dude, they would have gone with the Pulp Fiction references. Oh my god!
John Travolta just comes dancing down the street out of nowhere with Uma Thurman.
Oh god.
RXNZ says Rush Hour is getting a female reboot. I've seen. I hope.
Yeah. So is Lost Boys on CW. They're getting a female. It's a female thing as well. So
all it is a guaranteed formula for failure.
Yup.
Yeah. I mean, and once again, like I've always said, that's fucking lazy. That is entirely lazy. I don't care that it's two females. That doesn't bother me. The fact that you're just going to change the gender and that's your answer to something new. That's lazy.
Hey guys, I got an idea. I was thinking about this earlier today. So it's an idea for a movie starring us four. So you three guys are scientists, right? And you're paranormal scientists. But then you get me to join your team. It's kind of like Ghostbusters, but in reverse.
I'm
three white. Yes, instead of three white guys to get a black guy, it's three, not white guys to get a white guy. It'll work. It'll work. Trust me, it'll work.
I think it'll work.
It's a totally original idea.
We should do a race swap of the toy with Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor. Kevin Hart adopts, I don't know, Jack Black or something.
There you go. I agree. We should do Brewster Millions, but instead of the fat white guy catcher, we get, I don't know, The Rock, and Richard Pryor's character will be played by Shia LaBeouf.
I was going to say Bryan Cranston, but whatever.
That works too.
Please have Bryan Cranston in The Rock in the movie. That'd be wonderful.
Let's reboot Malcolm in the Middle, but instead of Malcolm, it's Joe Malcolm, and it's about a family that lives in Harlem.
I mean, without Bryan Cranston or what's her name, Jane Krasinski or whatever her name was, I don't know.
We'll just get Angela Bassett and T'Challa.
Chadwick Boseman's too big for TV.
I think Deion's asleep again.
Deion agrees.
That's what happens when you drink too much. TLJ Screwjob says, last time I trusted someone, I lost my good eye. To a cat? Now I'm definitely buying for Alita and seeing it twice. Not even bothering with Captain Marvel. Yeah, that's the dumbest part of the movie, Nick Fury. It's funny, Nick Fury is the best and the worst part of the movie because it retcons all of his greatness, but it also elevates a really boring movie.
True.
TLJ Screwjob also asks a question: who got cucked worse, Fury or Luke? I mean, Jake. Luke Skywalker is ruined forever. Nick Fury
is only ruined in one movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke is ruined for a few generations. So yeah. that is the answer for you of Captain Marvel.
It stinks and I don't like it. Dr. Coffinail says, if Marvel wants to do a feminist movie, why not do a Thundra film? Just saying, might have been more interesting.
Well, Thundra, Monica Rambeau, Storm. Yeah, there's other ones. There's other ones.
I think it just boils down to they look on the internet and Captain Marvel's new and they want to use the namesake Captain Marvel, Ultimate Branding, all these things. Robert Downey Jr. is the greatest redemption story in Hollywood history. He came from basically the end of his rope and climbed up to become the biggest actor of all time in terms of box office and paychecks.
Yeah.
Brie Larson, no. I don't even have to say anything negative about her. Just no.
Yeah, well, I agree. Yeah, no, just no.
TLJ Screwjob says, watched Mimi Headroom review America Chavez. On the first 5 pages, she breaks up with her girlfriend. I don't even know the character yet. Stop SJWs. America Chavez is a stupid character to begin with.
I don't even know who that is.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's when it gets a movie, we will be skipping it.
Okay.
Cool. Because it is cringe the comic book. It is just
oh god.
I don't know, man. Those Captain Marvels I was reading was pretty.
I'm gonna send you a link to America Chavez. Be prepared. See what happens when you talk shit.
So you get more homework. Shut up.
Hey, I don't have to read unless Jeff says, "Hey, read these for the show." But damn it,
read America Chavez for the show next week.
Fuck off.
See, you shut your mouth, Kenny. You shut your mouth, man.
I will say this: Captain Marvel's taught me one thing. Apparently, I am a expert at flirkins and how to handle in-house flirkins. So I want that on a shirt. Flirkin expert.
Flirkin expert.
Don't give them ideas. They'll be sold at Hot Topic tomorrow.
Certified flirkin handler.
That actually sounds like a cool shirt. So, Silas Brixton says Carol Danvers was the epitome of a true feminist, or of true feminist values. An established Air Force pilot, CIA agent, NASA head of security before she even had powers. Yeah, the weird part is too, she never felt like she was actually portraying any of those things on film.
No, because like for all the hype about feminist, this is a woman's day, in the sun. It's like none of that really happened in the movie. There was a few things with like the flashback scenes where people were like, the patriarchy was beating her down, and then that was pretty much it.
Well, not even that. I mean, like, her dad was shitty to her because, he was just probably a shitty dad and alcoholic. Especially the one thing where the guy's like,
70s.
That's true. And also the guy is like, what they call it a cockpit. I was like, that's just some guy being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like that's none of that is like there was none of that in this movie. None of it was preachy. It was just boring.
The I'm just a girl, no doubt song when she's fighting all the bad guys. That was a little on the nose, but other than that, like there was
that may have been like the worst part of it. But even
I was gonna say that was like the only part where I'm like, okay, come on, now we're not even being subtle.
That stuff ramps up at the end of the movie, and it's just like they just layer it on, and it's not good. Logan Michael says, thanks for the great streaming content. It's been rough for me lately, and stuff like this has cheered me up. By the way, Captain Marvel is now gayer than Funko Pops. Logan Michael, we always appreciate you being on the streams with us, man. Sorry we haven't had too many lately, but we've been pumping out videos left and right, so I'm sure you're enjoying those. And it's always fun to hear your take on Funko Pops. You know, I go to GameStop quite frequently, and I'm just gonna, I think of you every time I look at the wall of Funko Pops.
Yep.
Trooper Bear FN2525 says Goose the Flurkin saves the MCU. #Endgame rewrite.
I mean, I would have no problem if like they're fighting Thanos and it's like tooth and nail, and no pun intended, and it's getting to the point where like they're like just gassed and he's about to line up to just nail him, and all of a sudden Goose comes flying out of nowhere and just like kills Thanos. I'd be like, I could see that. He's a Flurkin. I saw what he did with those tentacles. It was mean.
If that happens, I'll never watch another Marvel movie. I'm throwing to the cat Thanos.
I mean, I'm okay. I honestly want Rocket Raccoon to take down Thanos.
Me too.
I mean, I want somebody that's got skin in the game. He watched Groot die. Okay, so him to be the one that delivers the killing blow, I would be like, you know what? Rabbit taking him down. I'm good with that.
Who do I want to beat Thanos? I really want I want it to be like Iron Man or somebody.
We should save that.
Okay, we'll save that for the end of the stream or another day.
I'll save it for a special edition of World Class Bullshitters. We rank who we think should take down Thanos.
We do have 49 days till Avengers Endgame, so
that's true. We do,
and we don't have a bunch of. The thing is, there's a couple of weeks where we're not going to have episodes.
Yeah, so that could be an episode.
We won't have episodes the first 2 weeks of April.
Well, not live ones.
There's not going to be any episodes because I'm going to WrestleMania, so we can pre-record one for that. But then I'm coming back, and then we're going to Star Wars Celebration like 2 days later.
Yeah, and usually we always pre-record. And you don't want to read A New Hope again, do you?
No more fan fictions.
Good, because unless it's Sex Motorcycle, I'm out.
Sex Motorcycle.
Oh God, I love that one. We'll do that for Patreon.
Oh God, somebody please send us a digital copy of Sex Motorcycle.
Or write us your own copy. We'll read it.
Oh God,
folks, you can send your own versions of the book Sex Motorcycle to worldclassbs@mail.com. If we select yours, that might be the one that gets read.
I'll send you a free gift.
Yes. Put Sex Motorcycle in the subject line to be entered.
Samuel Aragon says, did you fall on the floor heartbroken after Jeff? No, I got up, I took a leak, and I drove home.
Yeah. I got in the car and was like, I'm going to go home and talk about this on the internet.
Testify HD has an interesting question for us, Kendo. Was Captain Marvel like the build to WrestleMania 30 before WWE realized they had to give Daniel Bryan the title to save face?
That depends. Is Captain Marvel Daniel Bryan in this scenario or not?
I think Captain Marvel would be Batista and Randy Orton, where that is what the company wants, but the fans want something else. So you don't want to piss off your fan base like you did with Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a good parallel to draw then, because I could see that. You know, Captain Marvel's Batista showing up at the fucking Royal Rumble to win the thing, not surprisingly. And we're all sitting here going, dude, what the fuck? We don't want to see Captain Marvel win the title at WrestleMania. We want to see Iron Man or Captain America or Rocket Raccoon or, you know, somebody that's, you know, pissed off at Thanos and has been dealing with his ass.
I will say at WrestleMania 30, when Daniel Bryan won, Dion and I hugged. We're like, yeah, we high-fived because we were actually into the story.
WrestleMania 30, I won money because I walked into the party I was at and I bet everybody $10 that Undertaker's streak was going to lose. And when his streak ended, I was the only person that jumped up and went, yes! And everyone else was looking at me like, you're an asshole. I'm like, I called it, motherfucker.
By the way, WrestleMania is in Tampa next year, so I think we all need to get a house.
God damn it! Don't you dare threaten me with that good time. I've never been to America's Wang.
Make sure you get a coos for Kendo and Dion.
Well, if we're gonna split it like 7 or 8 ways, we can get a top of the line place.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, four of us can have one. You know, the good half of the place, and the other 4 can have the top.
So basically,
the other half of the place.
The podcast gets the good part.
Well, naturally, we are the ones that are famous. That's how it works.
Crossbreed Azure, thank you very much. I would rather Rose Tico take out Thanos because at least that would be funny and we would get the crossover nobody asked for.
She actually crashes into him with one of her little cruisers like she did on the Salt Planet.
And then she crawls out and is like, I killed something I loved, and then the end of the movie.
Dun, 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 dun. Like, what the fuck did we just watch? What just happened? I don't even know.
Does my dick still work? Okay.
Wait, Rose, you never had one to begin with.
What? Potato pancakes for everybody.
I love potato pancakes.
So do I.
Dude, I'm kind of hungry, to be honest.
I'm fucking starving.
TLJ Screwjob says, people have been asking for a Black Widow movie for how long?
Let's see. The MCU really kicked into high gear in 2008. So I'm going to say 9 years.
Yeah, I don't think I was ready for a Black Panther movie or Black Widow movie until post Age of Ultron. So maybe in 2016
yeah.
I would have been ready, personally.
Yeah. Well, you know, she deserves it. And the fact that she hasn't got one yet is just a slap in the face.
Well,
you know?
Well, depending on what they do, I don't want them to do like they do with Solo and say, well, the only thing we know about Han Solo's past is the Kessel Run, so we're going to tell you that story. And because I don't want her to go back to Budapest with Hawkeye. I'd like, if they do a Black Widow film, just set it in the modern MCU. We've seen enough of her past. I don't need to see a little girl, they sterilize her and they do all this stuff to her, because we saw the flashbacks. We saw Red Sparrow. We saw that movie with Charlize Theron. It's the same story. So just because you put Marvel on it, you can't make the same movie 3 times in 8 years and say, well, this is the Marvel equivalent. It's the best.
God. Now Red Sparrow is a feminist movie, if you want to get into that. I mean, that's a feminist movie.
What if the Black Widow movie is 2 hours of her riding a motorcycle with Hawkeye is in the sidecar, and they're just driving around Budapest for 2 hours just arrowing people?
I mean, that's cool if they stop off to get some shawarma.
Well, of course, you got to have shawarma. That's like that honestly is like my all-time favorite post-credit scene of any Marvel movie.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good.
Just because they're all acting in, it's not like, oh, we're just mailing this in because it's post-credits. You can just, like, Captain America is just sitting there like, I am fucking exhausted right now.
Well, I think it's funny because I think Captain America had his beard at the time and he'd like cover his face or something so that you wouldn't see it. Yeah, and like Tony's sitting there just chewing. He's got the napkin. He's just kind of crumpling up, kind of shake his head like, all right. And everyone else is just like sitting there like, I am fucking exhausted. Why are we sitting here eating shawarma? Not to say anything about shawarma. Shawarma's fine. I enjoy that type of food. But, you know, after I defeated, an army and saved the world and whooped Loki's ass, the last thing I'm probably going to be thinking is I want to sit down and just have a big meal.
I will just again reiterate that The Avengers is the greatest film-going experience I've ever had in my entire life, and I would love to recapture that in about 50 days. So
yeah.
I mean, we're harsh, but because we're fans and we care. We just don't want to watch it flush down the toilet.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. Royal D says SJW/NPC are the new white segregationists. LOL.
As a white person, I don't want to be segregated from myself. So I'm not sure what he's getting at there.
I think what he's getting at is inside of the segregation there's going to be more segregation. Is what he's getting at.
I don't like that idea. I don't want to segregate myself from myself. I like myself.
Wayfarer says, first off, thank you, Wayfarer. Rotten Tomatoes on their homepage banner ad: Captain Marvel is certified fresh, subtle. It's all about, look at guys, we live in a headline world. Read a little deeper. Go to Metacritic. I mean, we'll give you our number score in a minute. I'll call Dion to wake him up. Jeremy says, seeing the movie tomorrow, I'm nervous. Help. Well, Proper Jeremy, you don't have to see the movie tomorrow. Unless you're taking, somebody on a date, or like you promised a kid or somebody. If you're just going because you feel obligated, you don't have to see it to get the bigger picture.
Yeah, man.
We'll give you the subtext in a minute.
I asked Doofus if he wanted to see the movie, and he just kind of shrugged his shoulders. What a fucking misogynist. Where did he learn that from, being raised by a single mother? I'll never know.
Start him young.
I can't speak tonight. Blacklist Universe says Fury was already a colonel and a CIA agent. He was a badass before he joined S.H.I.E.L.D. They made him look like Stephen Fetchit instead of Shaft.
Oh, he means Stephen Fetchit. And yes, I agree.
Fetchit, sorry, my bad. That was a mistake on my end. Who is that?
Stephen Fetchit? a black caricature from like way back, and the yes, I'm boss. I'll get one of those.
He wasn't that. Come on.
He was not he wasn't Shaft. Okay.
Well, yeah, okay, he wasn't Shaft, but he wasn't a caricature of like this guy's saying. He wasn't that. Jeez.
He just wasn't.
No, Nick Fury was. I was talking about Step and Fetch It.
Oh, okay. All right.
God, come on, Nick. Stay with us here.
Yeah. Tim Riggs says, if you want a solid sci-fi to watch, check out Hell's Reach by Richard Boylan here on YouTube. A fan film so good the IP holder hired him to do a series. Well, let me take a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
Tim Riggs, watch The Expanse. It's good.
Tim Riggs, bring tequila.
We'll see you next weekend.
Also watch Stargate SG-1. It's good stuff.
Bring limes.
Actually, that's something I wanted to make a point. In a bad way, this movie felt like an old episode of Star Trek. When they go to the planet at the beginning, they even had the red shirt. Like, it just felt like a Star Trek.
Oh, shit.
So,
I didn't notice that. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, my God. That is funny.
MGTOW Michigander says, we don't kiss the ass of full-blown whammon immersed in identity politics. # don't support feminism. Now, it's sad that the only Michigander's snoring his ass off.
That's a true story.
It's been a rough day on the little guy.
Well, he liked the movie, so he's just tuckered out.
Yeah.
He was very angry with the movie and kept picking it apart, but he liked it. I'm kind of confused, but
it's a shit movie. Dion gives it. You know, it's funny if he doesn't wake up by the time we get to the rating portion. I'm saying he gives it a 4.
A generous 4.
It goes in the record books. True Panic says, kind of thought the script was all over the place.
It was.
Yep.
I can't reiterate it enough. The people that want to build this movie up, they bet on the wrong horse.
Oh, dude, like 45 minutes in, I'm like, this is bouncing around way too much.
Do you remember what I said to you 2 years ago when we all saw Justice League? I said to you, I'm waiting for this movie to get bad in terms of, I kind of enjoyed it, and it never really did. I was waiting for this movie to actually do something.
Oh, dude, the same thing, man, because I remember the Justice League when we went and saw it, and I walked out of the movie, and I'm like, I didn't dislike it. I'm probably going to get completely flayed on the show for liking this movie. And turns out we were all in the same boat. But it's because we set bars like so low, or if it's horrible expectations. But the movie, I wouldn't say it was great by any stretch, but I still occasionally go back and watch Justice League. I actually enjoy it. I didn't think it was other stuff in the movie sucked. It was like really dumb. They made it. At least the actors made it okay.
Yeah. I will watch Justice League over Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Oh, easily.
But if I'm being fair, I still think Captain Marvel's better than Suicide Squad.
Without doubt, without question.
Okay,
without
cool.
question.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm not alone. I hate Suicide Squad, dude.
That movie was just. I've told you guys about that. The first time I ever actually watched the whole thing is when we did the commentary, because I tried watching it the first time and I was like, I can't do this, and I turned it off. I was like, this movie just sucks.
True Panic also sent in the same message twice that says, kind of thought the script was all over the place. So you sent it twice. We will read it twice. Thank you very much, True Panic. We did not want to leave you hanging, man. Jacob Maurer says, as someone who has painted names on planes, they do. You just don't always fly yours, but they try to do it to justify the massive waste of time putting it on there.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting. I assume you're in the military. When we do our other military stream, you'll have to join us because
Top Gun.
Yeah, our first military stream was a lot of fun. So we'll do another one in the future. Vic Savage, thank you very much. What era is Danvers from if she was with the Kree for so long? So
timeline, born in the 70s.
Yeah, because it was 1989 when the wreck happened and she got abducted by the Kree, because it was 6 years later, 1995, math, and that was the present of the film, 1995. So
late 60s.
Yeah, she had to be born in the late 60s because she was a little girl in the 70s, like maybe 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
Riding golf cart, or not golf carts, go-karts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if she was a pilot in 89, so like if you're in the military and you're a pilot, you're an officer. So you're at least got to be at least 22 with an education or going to OCS, I think, whatever. But yeah, so she'd had been born mid to late 60s.
Yeah, because minimum
to be in that position.
She had to be a minimum of 21 because she was rocking the Appetite for Destruction shirt, which was 1987, and she was dressed as Axl Rose
and was drinking beer at a bar off base. So she had to be at least 21.
Yeah, we're doing the math.
See, we know our shit. We don't lie.
Yeah, yeah, we know what the fuck we're doing. We're world class for a reason, motherfucker.
Maga Man says, "Did y'all see that Rotten Tomatoes removed the audience score?"
Yep.
Yeah, we through the fans, we've noticed that. That's what we always want to thank you guys for. You always keep us up to date on the controversies because we're fighting the bigger battles, but we couldn't do it all you guys. So shout out to Maga Man and everyone else out there who's keeping us up to date on everything. We appreciate it.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah, you guys are taking that while we're trying to figure out when Captain Marvel was probably born.
Yeah, like
he's 6.
Did she watch Who's the Boss in high school? Kenai 24, thank you very much for $1. There's a Kine, sorry. I believe that was what it was. They've been around for
Quinoa.
Quinoa, Chris Quinoa.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
He fed his family high protein vegan food.
Yeah.
Rhino 4563 says doo-doo butter is out.
Yeah, doo-doo butter's down for the count, man. I mean, you could raise that arm and it'll drop 3 times. Ring the bell.
Sean M says Dion gave the most accurate review to Captain Marvel, and I quote.
That's not a joke, man. I even messaged you during the movie. What did it say? I'm fucking bored.
Yeah, that's what it says.
You did say that. I looked at my watch a couple of times. I really wanted to get out of that movie.
Oh, dude. When at the end of the movie, what I thought was the end of the movie, when she's floating up into space to look at the scrolls, like, hey, I was like, and then it like cut. I'm like, okay, good, the movie's over, and then
you completely now all you hear is Dion snoring. You roboted out there, bro.
Googled. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you missed a big gap audio there.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving on.
Yeah, we give a second here.
Kenai 24, thank you again for the $1. Silva Lucas says I'd be more okay with Rocket beating Thanos than Brie.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Bree's butt double says endgame prediction. Thanos hugs Captain Marvel without obtaining consent. Brie launches Twitter campaign and Thanos disappears in shame after losing sponsors. A fitting end.
I really hope that doesn't happen.
Oh my god.
That would be bad. But I could see it.
Yeah.
That'd be too meta of an ending.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Maga Man has a question. Is Captain Marvel the Solo or the Last Jedi of the MCU?
I'm going to say Solo because they were both equally boring, but they were better than The Last Jedi.
Yeah, they're both like spin-off kind of things that shouldn't have happened to begin with and nobody wanted, but they did.
You know what, Nick? I'm going to echo your sentiment verbatim. Everything you said, I agree with.
Yeah.
Lackey alert.
Well, the other one's asleep, all right? I got to pick up the select somewhere.
Kenai 24 says, who's flattered, Brie Larson or Daisy Ridley?
Depends on what region of the topography you're looking at.
I'll put it like this. Daisy Ridley comes off more likable in real life. Like if somebody said to you, should have said to me, Jeff, who would you rather have a drink with? I'd pick Daisy Ridley because at least I don't feel like I'd be getting a lesson from Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, and you'd have to serve Brie Larson in the eyes the whole time. You couldn't look in any other direction, or else she'd be like, "Oh, why are you looking at my tits?"
I agree.
I would just put up a piece of wood and say it's the same thing. You know what we should do? We should all go to our local Home Depot or Lowe's, buy a deck board, and name it Brie Larson. There you go. Anybody can be. That's the Captain Marvel challenge right there, folks.
Oh God,
dude, that's what we should take to Horror Hound. I should go buy some deck boards and draw a picture of Captain Marvel. No, I should just write Brie Larson on it in Sharpie and see if somebody buys it.
No. What you should do is do that, and then put something on the table that says it's $5 a picture of Brie Larson.
We're doing it. Send me a message. We're gonna have a photo up for $5. Take a picture with Brie Larson.
Done. We'll do that. When I show up Friday, Jeff, and we go to get lunch, we'll just stop off at a hardware store and get a plank.
Deal. Now, do we put a sticker on it, or do we just write "Star of Captain Marvel Brie Larson" with like a red Sharpie or something?
That one. We'll do that one.
The shittier the better.
Yeah. Illustrate the point better.
Nicholas Glenn says, my climax with my girlfriend last night was better than the climax in Captain Marvel.
Well, I mean, even the worst climaxes in the throes of passion is going to be better than the climax of Marvel.
Because you'll actually feel something.
That's true. There's some emotion in there. So, yeah.
You'll actually get something out of that.
That's true.
Now, Nicholas Glenn's was a two-parter. Says, so what was the most cringe moment to you? The no doubt fight scene was his.
Yeah. That's probably where I'm at with that one too, because like I said, that's the most on the nose.
Yeah, I would have said like the parts with her and little Monica Rambeau, but that kid really did a good job you're portraying a kid. So yeah,
because usually kid actors are shit. But no, she was really good.
Yeah, I'll do the no doubt scene too. It just didn't fit.
I don't know, the whole thing about her like rigging a cell phone, rigging a payphone to talk to space was kind of weird. I was like, why do that? You have an advanced communicator on your hand, and how the hell is the phone line going to broadcast to space? How the fuck does that work?
I have a follow-up question for Nick on that one. Does that now make that phone a space phone?
A phone.
Yeah.
Well, she rigged it up. I mean, yeah, maybe, but it's just one of those things. Like, how does that work? Because and how did you know to do that? And what did you find in Radio Shack that made that thing happen? How did all this come together? Always sees Radio Shack, and then all of a sudden you're talking on the fucking space phone. How?
Because
plot.
God damn it.
Well, dude, I will. That was supposed to be a funny scene, and no one in my theater laughed. So.
No, I mean, the joke was, Radio Shack, and like I got that because like, haha, it's gone. It's dust now. It's fine. But then like you make a space phone to talk to your buddy on your wrist thingy where you can see a fucking hologram of you, which didn't make sense.
Hey everyone, let's laugh at a failed company.
Jeez,
two of them. It's a gut punch, man.
Yeah.
You know how much time I spent in Radio Shack as a kid? None. I hated Radio Shack. It was always boring.
Yeah, you go in there for like one thing and they try to sell you 5.
It's like, I don't.
That's true. That's very true.
Like, no, dude, I just need an aux cable. I don't need the fucking all the other shit. I just need
no. But they're trying to sell you the
stereo,
the $50 gold plated aux cable that will last for 100 years.
I will say this: I got an HDMI splitter that connects all my my DVD or my Blu-ray player and all my and my games and all that stuff to the TV. That was bought at Radio Shack, and so is the main cable that takes it. The HDMI cable takes it all out to the TV. So I do have remnants of the Radio Shack still sitting in the living room of Camp Kendo.
Sometimes I'll go watch the LGR Reviews channel, and he'll look at old Radio Shack ads from like 1992. I'm so glad technology has advanced the way it has.
Yeah.
I mean, society's dumber overall, but I do enjoy.
I personally enjoy a Micro Center way more than I do Radio Shack.
Well, dude, the fact that we live in a world where I can say "Okay, Google" and ask for the weather, and my phone will talk to me, it blows my mind.
Yeah, man.
Oh shit!
That one, kill the fire,
dude. Mine was doing that. That's why I kept cutting out a few minutes ago because I said that, and all of a sudden my phone was like interrupting like everything to tell me stuff that I didn't want to know.
Seriously, that's the first thing I do in the morning. I'm like, what's the temperature? It's 17 degrees in Cincinnati. I'm like, fuck, I'm not going outside for a while.
Well, yeah. When I used to have my Alexa hooked up, I would do that every morning. I'd wake up, ask it what's going on, and then tell her to play some cool music.
Yeah, as it listens to your every move.
Yep. Then she's a very bored person.
Logan Michael says, just saw the post-credit scene. Captain Marvel ruined it. So do we want to talk about the post-credit scene before we,
give our scores?
Give our scores and then close this show out? Because it's been, 2 hours and 40 minutes already?
Yep.
A long episode. I mean, I've been finding that our podcasts have been going longer, but people have been sticking with us. Maybe they miss us live. Maybe they just really enjoy,
I was going to say, maybe they just like us, Jeff.
I kind of like
Maybe we're actually likable dudes. Who knows?
I mean, it's not like we only have 105,000 subscribers. And
yeah, I know.
A bunch.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to everybody who's joined our channel recently. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to the people who've been there since the beginning. We really appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, thank you for the long haul. Really.
We'll come
that's amazing.
in and bienvenue.
Yeah, like it's not just us trying to like, kiss your ass. We really appreciate it because we are now at a level where we can do way more stuff, and then we're going to keep doing more and more stuff. So maybe one day Kendo will be proud of the quality content we put out.
But until then, he's not.
I'm more proud of what Manchester United did yesterday.
Nobody cares.
Okay, I'm more proud of what The Rock did in the year 2000. So, whatever.
Scripted sports, not better than real sports. Boom.
WWF Championship, not even relevant, but it made me happy.
Either way, so let's talk about the post-credit scenes because I didn't see them.
Okay, first post-credit sequence is a scene from Avengers Endgame where Captain America, Black Widow, Rhodey, and Bruce Banner are in the Avengers headquarters, and they're watching the population of the world go down. I think she's looking at like Belgium or something, and it says like 2 billion missing, and it like all over the world, all these computers are just telling you where people are disappearing. And then the Captain Marvel beeper is hooked up to a machine. It's like the battery's been hooked up, and all of a sudden the battery goes off and the beeper goes off, and they go, where is it at? Where is it at? Can we reconnect it? They're like, it's already got power. The thing just died. The signal stopped. And then they go, what's on the other side? What's coming? And then all of a sudden they turn around and Captain Marvel appears. She goes, where's Fury? And it ends.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. And
Fury got snapped, lady.
she looks out of place, if I can be honest. It's not even trying to attack her for her stupid comments. She just doesn't fit in with this universe. She hasn't earned her spot at the table yet, to use her own.
No, she hasn't. She's not gone through the rigors and the beatings and all the other stuff to earn a spot at the big boy table. I'm sorry, just hasn't.
Now,
I was just going to follow up question to what Jeff said. You said something about her stupid comments. Should she keep those in her pocket?
she should.
I don't think she's wearing anything that has pockets.
Which, by the way, is a movie I would rather watch a million times.
Room starring Brie Larson?
No, not Room. The Room.
I'll make sure to bring a copy of that with me as well.
I'm totally down with watching The Room with you guys.
We're gonna watch The Room, and we gotta watch the Leprechaun movies on St. Patty's Day.
Oh, I'll bring that. I've got the DVD box set. I'll bring that.
Ooh, yes.
Me gold. But that was the first post-credit sequence, Kendo. And then there's a secondary one where Goose the cat pukes up the Tesseract, and that's it.
That sounds really anticlimactic.
Just like the whole movie.
Yeah. The cat's on Fury's desk because it says N. Fury on it, and it just pukes it up.
Yeah, and that's it. You didn't miss much.
I'm glad I left to get a jump start on getting home to do the show with you guys.
I'm glad you did too. Our buddy Harrison Ford's out of the basement. He says, next time Kendo shows up at my house, I'm calling the cops. And for Christ's sakes, restraining orders are not free autographs. He's free to sell on eBay.
Yes, they are. And thank you for that.
Mr. Ford, I just want to tell you, like I've told you a million times, shut up.
Get the hell back in the basement. Who let you go?
Whining. Stop whining. It's not a big deal.
Lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. Jeez.
You're just being borrowed for a little while. You're not being stolen. You're just being borrowed.
Yeah, we're just borrowing you, man.
The Teos, excuse me, says support Alita and support it now. Hey, Nick has seen both movies, and he said earlier that Alita is better than Captain Marvel. So, Nick, do you agree with that sentiment?
I do 100%. I had way more fun at Alita because it was an original idea. I mean, I do love Marvel, but it's been 10 years now. Okay, it's time to pack up and move. All right, it's time to close up shop. All right, get it going. Come on,
are you saying we should kill it with fire?
No, not with fire because they've had a good run. Okay, Star Wars needs to be killed with fire. MCU just needs to be, packed up and put away for a little bit. Just like it's been a good run. Just fuck off for a little bit.
Where were we at? Marvel fan, thank you very, very much. How does her power level compare to Thor or Hulk?
More so just based on the fact that she's bounded with the Tesseract.
Well, let's be honest. The thing is, in the movie, she doesn't really harness her full power. And her power are these like photon blasts that come out of her chest. She actually doesn't achieve any great feat of strength in this movie, does she? Like, she just hits Jude Law at the end, and then she fights off people with energy blasts.
That's all it is, yeah.
Thor in the heart of a dying star in Infinity War.
He starts up a dying star again. She doesn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So how about this? Her powers compared to those guys are not great considering what we've seen, but her potential power is really high because she's bound with the Tesseract.
Yeah, and by the way, she gets her superpowers from an explosion.
Yeah.
Like a fucking engine, an alien experimental ship. The engine explodes and her body absorbs the radiation, and she gets the powers.
Yep.
And then they
It's basically radiation makes her a mutant. Is basically what it is.
Yeah, she gets exploded.
But Marvel fan, to answer your question, remember the Hulk's powers no limits. The angrier he gets, I believe, the more powerful he gets. But Captain Marvel doesn't lift a car. Like, she isn't really. I think basically when Marvel said all that stupid shit, it was to appeal to the Tumblr crowd, and then they'll buy into the smug and the hype of Brie Larson. But she just doesn't deliver on any level. I think a lot of these critics are also upset because they were told and they bought into this shit in the blogosphere, and it was empty.
Yeah, it was all empty stuff, man. Like they were just trying to sell tickets. That's all it was. That's all this is in the end. They can say what they want and they can do what they want, but in the end, it's a business and they want to make money.
Yeah. Nolus Specialist, thank you very much. Sinclair College is putting on a stage play about Star Wars fans that try to rob the Kenner Toy Factory in Cincinnati. You should stop by Dayton to check it out.
What?
That sounds eerily similar to our comic book.
That's hilarious.
I want to go check it out, though. If it was I only live an hour or so from Dayton. I should look into that. Let me take a screenshot.
Yeah, man. See what's up.
Because I would go. Because my mom dated a guy that worked for Kenner during the Star Wars era, so we have insight in my family to that.
Yeah, man. Check it out. I mean, if you have time, definitely check it out and see if it's good or not.
It'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
I'll go up to the Pine Club and have a steak.
There you go.
True Panic says, "How the hell did that lady get the stone? Stark?" True Panic. No Stark is ever mentioned in this.
Nothing.
Coulson is the only. Oh yeah, that's another problem with this movie. Shield is called Shield with a logo. It was called the Strategic Homeland whatever in Iron Man.
Yeah,
just call it Shield. They retconned that.
That's true. They did retcon that too.
and I know this sounds cynical and mean. You think you'd be really excited to see Coulson? He is so wasted in this movie.
You see him once in a like you see him very seldom, and I was just like, I was happy to see Coulson again, but it was just like very meh. And it's like I wanted more Coulson.
I would have used this movie. I would have had Coulson go with them because Coulson and Fury. Coulson's new in this. It could have built the relationship a little because I honestly don't think we're going to see another. 19.
Yeah, I do. I do agree with you. Coulson should have been with them more than Fury. Fury should have. The role should have been reversed.
So we don't actually know how Annette Bening got the Tesseract.
No, we don't.
Just plot.
Yeah, Zayer's got a sad piece of news. I saw this the other day on Facebook. I actually wanted to give a shout out to this celebrity. Alex Trebek has stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Yeah,
jeez, man.
Now, we don't usually try to grave stand and do all this dumb shit, but like when I saw that video clip and the way he handled himself with such class, I was like, God damn, Alex Trebek. I always respected you, but like a whole new level. And I hope, like, I everybody that has cancer, I hope they beat it. That's a foregone thing. But Alex Trebek, I hope he beats it and continues to host Jeopardy. I don't want to imagine somebody else hosting Jeopardy. It's just
it wouldn't work.
No.
It's like The Price is Right with the Drew Carey instead of Bob Barker. It just isn't the same.
No, man, it's not. It doesn't have that same magic on the sick days whenever you'd watch it, or the snow days.
Yeah, it's just not there
anymore.
Yeah. I don't either.
I could watch it every day if I wanted to. If it was Bob Barker, I still would. There was something about have your pet spayed or neutered coming from that man's mouth.
That's right.
He had charisma.
Roddy died. It started to go down a little, but
yeah,
Bob kept it going. But then he stepped away, and you got Drew Carey. And it's like nothing against Drew Carey, but you're not Bob Barker, Drew.
Yeah, and Cleveland ain't that great. Just put
right. Cleveland does not rock, contrary to what the song tells you.
Bree's butt double. Thank you very much. Spoiler: Captain Marvel is a grown-up Ray sowing the seeds for an epic cross tie. Oh, geez, that would be. I couldn't handle that movie. I think
who would win in that fight between Captain Marvel and Ray? I mean, they're both super powered.
Well, Ray doesn't have a lightsaber anymore.
She'll build another. She'll build 12.
No. She'll find Darth Vader's lightsaber somehow.
Yeah.
But Captain Marvel is the most powerful thing in the universe.
Yeah, but Ray
Well, then
is the
she'll
most powerful thing in a galaxy far, far away.
How about they cancel each other out and we all win because they both die?
That's what happens. They both fight. They meet in the middle, and it's like boop, done.
Yep.
It's like a paradox, and like the universe just collapses.
Yeah.
Jason Green says, item I ordered finally on its way. Expect a surprise soon. Ooh, Jason Green. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to edit the next P.O. Box video and put up part 2, and then I'm going to go film another one because the office is full of stuff people have sent us or have sent us. So I thank you to each and every one of you. We got a Good Morning Pop Culture mug. I can't wait to show it. I look at it.
Oh my god.
Somebody made me a Good Morning Pop Culture mug.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. So until I put out some, I don't care. Whatever ones I make, this will be my favorite because somebody went out of their way to make it for me. It's got fucking our logo. It's got the Bat logo. What else has it got on it? It's got Han Solo on it and the DeLorean time machine.
Oh,
too.
Jeez, that's awesome.
So yeah, I gave a shout out to the guy that made it for us in the video because he sent a letter with it. But that dude, that was awesome. So if you're listening right now, I appreciate it. Believe me. Let's see. And finally, we're at our last super chat of the evening. Crossbreed de jour. Listening to Dion snoring is probably more entertaining than Captain Marvel from what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Now, Kendo,
Yeah, so
on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving this movie?
a generous 5.
Nick?
A generous 6. We'll go with that. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. And once again, like we've all been saying over and over again, you can miss it and you're not going to miss it.
I like that. That's what we're going to put on our DVD. That's our DVD quote. You can miss it, but you're not going to miss it. I was also going to give it a 5. If I'm being honest, it's a 5. I'm generous. It's 5.5. But I'm coming from a place of no anger. I'm coming from a place of strict Marvel fandom and criticism, like I would treat any other Marvel flick. A 5 is what I can give this movie. It is not great. It is honestly, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I'm about to say it is the weakest of the MCU flicks. If I'm ranking this against every Marvel movie ever, including the TV show, the TV movies from the 70s with Reb Brown as Captain America, clearly Captain Marvel is better than that. I would have to go on another repeat viewing to see where I rate it among, the Fantastic Four films. It's better than Fan Four Stick. I'll put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than some of the X-Men movies.
Yep.
Jeez, especially the newer ones, man. God.
It's better than X-Men Apocalypse. Well, yeah, I don't remember liking that one, but I'd rather.
It's not better than Spider-Man 3, and I hate Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3 is a superior film in every way. I give Spider-Man 3 a very generous 7 out of 10. But I
would give it a 6, a hard no higher than a 6.
You know what? It's still not a 0.
That's right.
So, what is that? What did we give the score? A 5, and a 6.
Well, and a 4 because Dion's on awake right now.
Dion. So does that makes it our lowest ranking MCU flick for the channel officially?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I would say it does.
Now, folks, if you're out there listening, we are going to
average of a 5.
We're going to do closer we get to Avengers Endgame. We're going to re-score every Marvel flick, and we're going to do a countdown where we rank every MCU flick and talk about them. Maybe the week before Endgame.
I might. God, You know what? Before that, I'm going to rewatch all of them. And
wait, we passed 100,000 subscribers.
We did.
We did, sir.
We have to do that live stream.
Oh God, we're gonna die.
So if 1,000 people are still watching, we did say if we could hit 1,000 subscribers by a certain point,
100,000,
excuse me. If we could hit 100,000 subscribers by a certain point, we were going to do an all MCU marathon minus Captain Marvel because it's not available for us to watch. So we're gonna have to figure out a time. And we're gonna
really schedule this out.
We'll work on that at Whorehound next week, and
I'll be honest. I'm going to not be involved for every movie. I won't be on for all 42 hours.
God,
I will come back to reset each stream, but I'm good for all of phase 1. Count me in. I can sit through phase 1 in a day.
And phase 1 I think is the shortest one as well.
It's 5 movies.
Is it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Captain America, Thor, Hulk, 2 Iron Mans, and Avengers.
Yeah.
So I can do that one. But the thing is, I do like phase 2 movies as well.
Yeah.
I'll watch as many as I can.
I will try to. It depends on when we do it.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Maybe we should just record it and then put it out.
Probably a better idea.
That way we can hide behind
because
the
because then we can do it over a couple of weeks or a couple of weekends and be fine.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everyone who's joined the channel. We should be at 105,000 subscribers really, really soon. So that's exciting.
Wow.
But we got 2 more super chats rolling in. First off, from Bree's butt double. Fury should have lost his eye in a BB gun accident.
God, that was hilarious.
I'd be more believable. Yeah, it flashes back to him in 1988, and he's like walking through a little Indiana town, and some kid shoots him with a fucking Red Ryder BB gun.
Motherfucker. and then Nullus Specialist says, I can send you a link for where to buy tickets to the play if you'd like. We would appreciate the support as I'm in the show. Well, Nullus Specialist, shoot me an email to worldclassbs@mail.com and
.com.
Yes, .com. And I will check out the link. I would love to check out your show, depending on when it is, because next weekend we are all here in town at Cincinnati Horror Hound. So if you're listening to this show and you're relatively close and you want to come hang out with us, we will be there Friday through Sunday at Horror Hound. We'll have our own booth. I have a giant banner with our faces and the logo made. It's pretty damn awesome.
Yep.
I'm going to be giving out something exclusive at this show. So if you really like the show and you're a super fan Adam Shawhan or you're Tim Riggs or you're one of the super listeners like a Dr. Coffin Nails and the like, make it to the show. I think the other guy was Brian Neer, and he was a great dude. Make it out and hang out with us. We're a lot of fun. We usually just sit at the table and drink and shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
No topic.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to bring my TV and a media player and maybe a Bluetooth speaker so we can play some 80s music while we're there.
It's like the show, but in person.
Yeah, we're just gonna have a good fucking time. Is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're the most honest people on YouTube because when you meet us, we're exactly like we are on the show.
Pretty much.
Yep. And then we go back to our hotel rooms and we hate each other and don't speak.
Yeah,
yeah, and we have a line drawn in the room and just say, stay on your side and I'll stay on my side.
We don't go out to dinner together afterwards. We eat alone.
We drink alone. We watch The Room alone.
I walk.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. Like people are gonna be like, "Oh, you guys are gonna do The Room?" Yeah, we'll be from 4 separate rooms doing it like we do the show.
Yeah,
I'll watch it on my phone.
And we don't hang out together. We don't like being around each other.
I'll just periodically yell at you. I'm fed up with this world.
And then I'll beat on the wall. Shut up in there.
Keep your stupid comments in your pocket.
Yeah.
I don't have pockets.
One more thing. Now, I wanted to talk about this briefly. This is just quick. The Shazam early reviews are coming out, and it's getting massively positive reviews.
Okay,
It's getting stuff like it's a delightful familiar origin. It's damn near perfect. It's joyful and sweet. It's big, goofy, and lovable, unlike anything DC has done before. Now, in the interest of fairness, we're going to treat these early screening reviews just like we treated the early Captain Marvel reviews and anything else, because it wouldn't be fair, or we wouldn't have integrity if we said, well, this means it's a great movie. We're just telling you what is said, because technically Shazam was Captain Marvel for many years. True. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now, we will see. That'll be our next superhero movie we review. That's what, a month from now, roughly?
Yeah, isn't that April 5th or something like that? Is it the beginning of April that comes out?
When does Shazam come out?
April 5th.
Shazam will be released in the United States of America on April 5th.
Thank you.
Yep.
So yeah, that'll be our next live show like this. We'll do that. We'll do all the superhero movies this year because fuck it.
Yeah. So. And I'm looking forward to that one, even though Zachary Levi's, I don't know, weirdo. But once again, putting that aside, I'm gonna watch a movie regardless because I think it looks funny. It looks like a good time.
It looks like a fun movie. It does.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Like with Captain Marvel, if it's good, we'll tell you. If it sucks, it sucks. Captain Marvel just so happened to be, realistically, folks, it's as bad as you think it is. It's not as preachy or as heavy-handed as you might say or might think. They do ruin some of the characters with retcons more than intentional.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird retcons.
Yeah.
So I think our final opinion, and this is the most honest one we can give you, is if you don't want to see it, don't, because you will not be missing out on anything for Avengers Endgame. If Avengers Endgame is something you're excited for and you want to be up on everything, just wait for it. It comes out in 49 days at this point. You will not, you could handle that. Is there anything else that you guys want to say about Captain Marvel before we put this baby to bed?
No, I was wanting to plug. I was wanting to plug my own channel if I can have the floor, sir.
Every week you can, man.
I'm just asking, just making sure we're at the end of this, just to kind
It's
of,
one of the perks of being on the show.
you know, just to kind of do it. All right, I'm gonna do it. I have my own channel with some of my friends that live here in the area of Atlanta. We call it Real Independent Productions, Real with two E's, because it's a film pun, where we every now and again we do drive home movie reviews, where we'll drive home from a movie and review it. We did one for Alita Battle Angel, which if you guys like it, or if you're on the fence about it, watch our review and, you know, see if you like it and go support it. We also do Scary Drunk every Friday, where we talk about mainly independent horror movies that are out and about that are actually really good and you should support, because you should always support independent film because it's really, really rough. And in all of those episodes, we also put in links for where you can buy those movies and support them that way. But, you know, hey, you know, subscribe to the channel. We have a good time. We drink a lot. You know, we goof off. It's a good time.
I want to appear on one with you one day. I really just want to have a drink.
Yeah, I was just say, let's all just get drunk and crash Nick's thing that he's shamelessly shilling on our platform. What a dickhead!
I know.
Hey, I asked before. Okay, I asked before.
That doesn't mean it's okay. We were just being nice.
Well, you're just a lackey, and I asked El Jefe, and he said it was okay. All right,
I'm
come
not the
on.
one that was agreeing with everything Jeff said earlier.
I agreed with like 2 things. Calm down.
That's enough to be a lackey.
It's got to be 4 or above, right? That's the number, right? It's in the rules. You know it. Quit denying it.
Look, I haven't read the World Class Bullshitters bylaws in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's.
I have them memorized. Okay, sir.
Never really
tattooed on my back. All right.
It's a good thing. So, folks, it is too late to do after hours. It's 1:04, but I got some Patreon content for you. Kendo and we recorded something awesome. We're going to put that up tomorrow, and then I'm going to work on the P.O. Box video, continue to work on the thing, because I finally got a new colors for the comic, and I'm going to show you guys an update really, really soon, maybe Saturday. So be on the lookout for all that awesome stuff. But as always, hold on, we got a new super chat from Star Woke Incorporated. Nico says, Shazam, baby. Thank you very much. But folks, as always, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for making World Class Bullshitters as big as it is. And to all the new listeners that will find us in the future, welcome to the channel. Subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, the bell notification, so you guys can know when we go live. We'll be doing it. Next weekend is the weekend we'll probably go live a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
We'll watch Dion walk around and hug some celebrities and have some fun. So until next time, folks, thank you for watching. And as always, be excellent to each other.
.com